Chapter 1489. Crack Master Xiao Hua knew that Qin Yun's level of inscription was not bad, but he never thought that Qin Yun would actually volunteer to stand up for him. The majority of the people in the palace seemed to be intentionally suppressing the Xiao family. Xiao Hua guessed that it was because of Xiao Jingyuan. Xiao Jingyuan and his other grandsons definitely didn't have a strong enough stance in front of those disciples of the famous sections. That's why their Xiao family was looked down upon. In addition, the Xiao clan possessed the secret technique to subdue the inscription beast, but they did not share it with the other major powers. That was why the Xiao clan was disliked. Qi Xiuhai sneered. Xiao Hua, are the followers of your Xiao clan all so powerful? He's actually stronger than me. I'm not that much stronger than you. I'm about the same as you. Xiao Hua smiled faintly. Today, I am only a puppet avatar, so it is indeed inconvenient to use the inscriptions. I can only ask this little brother to do it for me. Xiao Hua, are you serious? Qi Xiuhai sneered. It was very rude of him to call Xiao Hua by his name. Of course I'm serious. Xiao Hua smiled and said, Little brother, go and compete with this He Shu friend. He Shu looked at Qin Yun and said with slight astonishment, This young brother, can you really crack my immortal talisman? We said that we wanted to take him in as our disciple, but he rejected us. Could it be that he has already acknowledged a master teacher? Bai Zhe laughed and said, I really couldn't tell that such a young boy's level of inscription is actually so high. Qi Xiuhai is unhappy, he said mockingly. My two friends, do you really believe that a youth still wet behind the ears can have an inscription technique above mine? I am a famous mysterious inscription sect, proficient in several kinds of totems, many kinds of immortal runes and star runes. You'll know once you try. He Shu took out an immortal talisman, and then he passed it to Qi Xiuhai and said with a smile, Friend, take a look at this talisman. Isn't it the same as the one I gave you earlier? Qi Xiuhai received it and took a look. He said with a smile, Seems to be a little better than my previous one. Friend He Shu, do you really intend to let him try? Isn't this a waste of immortal talismans? It's just a water-gathering talisman. This kind of talisman is meant to be used for fun. He Shu chuckled and then said to Qin Yun, Little brother, I am ready to activate it, are you ready? I'm ready. Qin Yun nodded. Blackrat activated the water-gathering immortal talisman and handed it to Qin Yun. After receiving it, Qin Yun did not take out the floating cloud divine needle. However, his palms overflowed with formidable blood spirit power. The water-gathering immortal talisman is releasing weak energy and will soon explode. This is mainly due to He Shu's remaining mental power inside the immortal talisman. He is controlling the runes inside to circulate and release the stored energy. Qin Yun took the water-gathering immortal talisman and immediately infused it with powerful blood soul power. He stabilized the runes that are circulating energy crazily and erased the remnant mental power inside. Soon, the water-gathering divine talisman calmed down. The main reason he could do it was because he had a deep understanding of inscriptions. With just a look with his extinction spirit eye, he knew the key inscriptions that controlled the talisman. Then, he would target the key runes and break the water-gathering immortal talisman's eruption. All right. Qin Yun smiled at He Shu and returned the water-gathering immortal talisman. He Shu and Wizard exchanged shocked glances. They had never expected that someone would be able to dispel the water-gathering celestial talisman so quickly. Furthermore, it was a young man. Everyone present looked at each other in dismay and whispered in each other's ears in amazement. Qi Xiuhai's face turned red because someone said that he is inferior to a Xiao family youth and that this youth is Xiao Hua's follower. How is this possible? It must be a coincidence. Qi Xiuhai sensed everyone's disdainful gaze and promptly explained. It is not a coincidence, he can truly dispel my water-gathering immortal talisman. How did he do it? He Shu said with frown. My water-gathering immortal talisman has a unique heavenly rune. He doesn't understand these heavenly runes, but he knows the key inscriptions to control them. Some heavenly runes cannot be touched carelessly, otherwise they will explode. Xiao Hua said with smile. Qi Xiuhai, isn't your Qi family's inscription technique too inferior? You, a famous inscription profound sect, is actually inferior to my Xiao family's little demon. And you actually look down on me, the family master. If everyone in the Qi family were like you, they would surely walk towards destruction. Xiao family's inscription technique is truly worthy of its reputation. A little nameless youth is so outstanding. If I didn't see it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it, He Yenyun said with smile. Earlier, when Xiao Hua was criticized by many people, He Yenyun did not utter a single word. Now seeing that the youth beside Xiao Hua is suppressing Qi Xiuhai, He Yenyun promptly flattered. This kind of skill of changing the rudder with the wind caused people to secretly despise him. Qi Xiuhai is being suppressed by a youth. Moreover, it is a nameless youth from the Xiao family. This caused him to be very angry. This kind of small quarrel is not interesting, Qi Xiuhai said with evil smile. I am not directly competing with that youth. You are saying that I am being suppressed by him. This is not right. Why don't we have a direct competition? After speaking, he took out a dazzling golden talisman. Looking at it, this talisman looks like a thin crystal chip. It contains very strong energy. This is a top-quality immortal talisman, Flame Thunder Immortal Talisman. It is very precious, however. In order to test this little brother's level, I am throwing caution to the wind. Everyone present let out a burst of low voice of astonishment. A top-quality Flame Thunder Immortal Talisman is a very powerful immortal talisman. If it explodes, even a Dao immortal would be injured. And the feeling Qin Yun gives people is that he is only an earth immortal. No matter how strong he is, he would not be able to resist the might of the Flame Thunder Immortal Talisman. Xiao Hua shook his head at Qin Yun because this is very dangerous. You don't dare. Qi Xiuhai chuckled and said, just now, this little demon was able to calmly break a weak water-gathering immortal talisman. If he could break a very powerful Flame Thunder Immortal Talisman, what would happen? He would definitely pee his pants in fright, ha ha. Everyone present also roared with laughter. He Shu said, can you let me take a look at the Flame Thunder Immortal Talisman? Of course. Qi Xiuhai promptly handed over the Flame Thunder Immortal Talisman. After He Shu took it, Bai Zhe also came over to take a look. Very good, Bai Zhe praised. The runes are very neat, the level is very high, the blood spirit power is very strong, the energy flowing inside the runes is very plentiful. He Shu also repeatedly nodded. If it was me, I wouldn't be able to break it. Human friend, you can't break my talisman, I also can't break your talisman, we are even. Qi Xiuhai took the talisman and said with proud smile, many thanks for your praise. This talisman took me 3 months to make, it is my pinnacle work. He Shu said to Qin Yun, little brother, you better not try, it is very dangerous. If the energy inside the talisman explodes, the might will be very strong, you will be injured. Qin Yun said with indifferent expression, it's fine, I want to try. They all said I would pee my pants, I want to prove that I won't pee my pants. Everyone roared with laughter again. Little demon, if you really try, it won't be as simple as peeing your pants, you will lose your little life. The heavenly tiger youth mocked. It's rare for your Xiao family to have such a good genius, if he were to die like this, it would be such a pity. He Yenyun also promptly persuaded. It's fine, come. Qin Yun's expression is indifferent. He Yenyun can only take out many flags and insert them into a circle. He said, you can do it inside, even if it explodes, it won't damage this place. Xiao Hua said coldly, if the Thunder Flame Immortal Talisman explodes in such a small place, wouldn't he not be able to escape? It's fine. Qin Yun smiled and said, Patriarch, I can handle it. Xiao Hua is very worried, but thinking that this youth is Qin Yun, He can only nod and let Qin Yun try. Qi Xiuhai said with a sinister smile. Little brother, after this talisman is activated, I will shout 10 times and it will explode. You must hurry up. After saying that, he activated the talisman and handed it to Qin Yun. Qin Yun, who was standing inside the flag array, took out the floating cloud divine needle. He used the extinction spirit eye together with the wildfire inscription spirit and quickly saw through the key runes inside the thunder flame immortal talisman. With a few moves, he broke several key runes. At this time, Qi Xiuhai shouted 5 times. Qin Yun has already deciphered the talisman, but he still continued. He broke many key runes and completely destroyed the talisman, causing it to become useless. Qi Xiuhai was originally very reluctant to take out this talisman because it is a very precious top-grade immortal talisman. Not only does it require a very long time to make, it also requires a large amount of precious materials. If he can kill that youth with the explosion, Qi Xiuhai feels that it is worth it. After shouting 10 times, the talisman did not explode. Qin Yun put away the floating cloud divine needle and said indifferently, I have deciphered it. This is impossible. Qi Xiuhai is very astonished. He immediately walked over and saw that the light on the surface of the talisman has disappeared. Everyone is also very astonished. They let out a burst of clamorous exclamations and discussions. At this moment, they are even more astonished at this youth's talent in inscription. This time, Qi Xiuhai is completely defeated. He looked at his thunder flame immortal talisman that has been destroyed into a complete mess. He wants to cry, but no tears come out. This is a waste of a very expensive top-grade immortal talisman. Qin Yun suddenly took out a light golden talisman and said with a smile, This is a talisman I made. Senior, do you dare to decipher it? Why wouldn't I dare? You are an expert in deciphering immortal talismans. The talismans you make are definitely not that good. You should specialize in deciphering immortal talismans, right? Qi Xiuhai coldly groaned and said. Only by deciphering Qin Yun's talisman can he, Qi Xiuhai, regain some face, otherwise he will be laughed at by others. Qin Yun walked out of the flag formation and Qi Xiuhai went in. After shouting about 20 times, my talisman exploded. Its power is very strong. You must be careful, Qin Yun said. 20 times? It took so long to explode. What kind of broken talisman is this? Qi Xiuhai said with a disdainful smile. Don't worry, I can definitely decipher this kind of broken talisman. Even if I can't decipher it, it won't explode me to death. Alright, then I will activate it. After Qin Yun activated the talisman, he handed it over to Qi Xiuhai. Chapter 1490. Forced to take action. Chapter 1490. Forced to take action. Generally speaking, only when refining special magic tool or weapon, one can hide runes underneath. But when crafting talismans, there is no need to do so. Hiding runes underneath talisman paper not only increases the difficulty, crafting is also very tiring and easy to fail. It can be said that it is strenuous but not rewarding. And the talisman in Qi Xiuhai's hand has hidden runes underneath. It is very difficult to see those runes. This talisman was crafted by Qin Yun using the leftover sacred flame liquid of annihilation. He doesn't know how powerful it is because he has never tried it. The sacred flame liquid of annihilation absorbed Yao Feng's immortal emperor power. If it erupts, its might will definitely be very strong. The reason why Qin Yun hid the runes underneath is because it can make the talisman even stronger. It can better fuse with the energy inside the immortal talisman and erupt with even more formidable power. Qi Xiuhai looked at the talisman and his brows tightly knitted. Now he is secretly apprehensive of Qin Yun's level. He can actually craft this kind of talisman. This is something that can only be done with very high-level inscription technique. Although he can also do it, he will not deliberately do it. The rune level of your talisman is very ordinary, you only used some small tricks, so it looks very difficult to break. Qi Xiuhai coldly groaned and said, "Although I can't break it, this talisman is only SOSO. He said this to find a way out of the situation that he can't break it. Qin Yun has been silently counting, now 20 counts have passed. The talisman in Qi Xiuhai's hand suddenly trembled. This kind of broken talisman's might is definitely not strong, come. Qi Xiuhai said with sneer, then promptly released immortal power from his body and formed a protective barrier. Everyone retreated one after another. Boom! Intense light suddenly burst out from inside the flag formation. The shockwave from the explosion caused the entire hall to tremble. The loud noise caused the surrounding people to feel incomparably terrified. It must be said that the flag formation is very strong, it can withstand the formidable explosive power inside. But still a wave of air rippled out, blowing the surrounding people back again and again. The power of the explosion is very great, the duration of the explosion is very short. Many people's clothes became disheveled and their hair became disheveled. After the hall calmed down, everyone immediately looked at the flag formation and became dumbstruck. There are only a few pieces of burnt body inside the flag formation. Qi Xiuhai was dead. This was a profound inscription sect, and he was very young. Being able to become a profound inscription sect master with the cultivation of a 9th stage Earth Immortal was very outstanding, but now, he was killed by a talisman. Qi family's few middle-aged and old men immediately cried out in grief, then they glared at Qin Yun. Qin Yun was also very shocked by the power of the sacred flame liquid of annihilation. It was actually able to kill off a 9th layer earthen immortal. If it was the annihilation holy flame arrow that he refined, the power would definitely be stronger. Brat! You're so ruthless! A middle-aged man from the Qi family hurriedly rushed over. Xiao Hua immediately stood in front of Qin Yun and said with a sneer, "Everyone knows what happened just now, right? If little brother is unable to break Qi Xiuhai's talisman, then he will also be blown to death. Why don't you say that Qi Xiuhai is ruthless?" He Shu said, "Qi Xiuhai's skill was not as good as others, and he was also full of himself. He thought that talisman was very weak. His death has nothing to do with little brother." Bai Zhe also nodded and said, "It was Qi Xiuhai who first proposed to compete with a very destructive immortal talisman." Blackrat and Bai Zhe were on Qin Yun's side. They were also very alarmed, because the might of that talisman just now is indeed very dreadful. Even Xiao Hua was scared by the might of that talisman. Xiao Hua looked at He Yenyun and said, "City Lord, this is your territory, you should reason things out." He Yenyun said with some difficulty, "Logically speaking, this kind of competition has life and death danger. Moreover, both sides are willing, if something happens, no one can be blamed." Qi family people's expression turned ugly. They lost an outstanding and famous inscription profound sect. This is a disastrous loss. What they are most unable to accept is that Qi Xiuhai was killed by a nameless youth, and that youth is even a member of the Xiao family. This matter will definitely spread out. This way, their Qi family's inscription level will be questioned. This kind of competition is a competition of talismans made by oneself. I don't believe that this little demon can make such a powerful immortal talisman. He must have picked it up from somewhere. An old man from the Qi family shouted in anger. He used someone else's talisman to kill our Qi family's inscription profound sect. This matter must be explained clearly. That talisman was indeed made by me. Qin Yun said with smile. Do you want me to make one on the spot and you can try to decipher it? Just make it on the spot and throw it into the flag formation. Let us see its power. Qi family old man said. If you really made it yourself, then we will be convinced. Alright. Qin Yun took out a talisman paper. The main material of the talisman paper is sacred flame liquid of annihilation. He only needs to carve runes on it. Let's check that talisman paper. Qi family old man walked over and carefully looked at the talisman. He even injected his mental power to probe it. There are also a few inscription profound sect present. They all went over to take a look, but did not discover that the talisman paper was mixed with sacred flame liquid of annihilation. After the inspection, Qin Yun can begin. You will probably need a few months, right? We are willing to wait for you. Qi family old man said coldly. If you can't make it, then you are dead for sure. I don't need a few months, just 1 hour will do. As Qin Yun spoke, he took out the floating cloud divine needle and quickly carved runes. The natural and smooth feeling caused all the inscription masters present to be extremely shocked. He Shu and Bai Zhe are very close to Qin Yun, they can see it even more clearly and are also the most shocked. The runes Qin Yun is currently carving are very complicated and special. Moreover, they are all hidden under the talisman paper. Xiao Hua knows that Qin Yun's inscription level is very high, so he is not surprised. Is that a totem rune? He Shu said in low voice. A very strong fire attribute totem rune. Could it be a fire dragon totem? It's not a beast totem. Bai Zhe shook his head. What Qin Yun is currently carving is the sacred flame totem from the Qi family. It is the powerful totem rune he swindled from the Qi family. Although there are Qi family inscription masters here, they can't tell. The people from the Qi family are secretly alarmed. This is because this youth's inscription technique is indeed very impressive. Not long after, Qin Yun finished crafting the talisman and said, I'm done, can I give it a try now? He Yun nodded. Put the talisman into the flag formation, I will open the flag formation. After Qin Yun threw the talisman in, everyone immediately jumped back in fright. He Yun's heart is also secretly in suspense. He quickly controlled the flag formation to open. Boom! The talisman very quickly exploded. The power it released is as strong as before. This caused everyone to cry out in alarm once again. The might of the talisman produced in such a short period of time is already so terrifying. This caused all the inscription masters to find it hard to believe. Little brother, your talisman is so strong, the main reason is because you carved very powerful totem runes, right? Furthermore, you can still carve it so fast. Could it be that you have mastered inscription spirit? He Yun asked. No. Qin Yun said. The Qi family people are gnashing their teeth in hatred. The people from the other major powers are also very jealous of the young boy in front of them. They are certain that the young boy has inscription spirit and a powerful totem on his body. Xiao Hua suddenly felt that the atmosphere here is not right. The people from the major powers seem to be secretly communicating with each other. Little brother, let's go. Xiao Hua immediately pulled Qin Yun and wanted to leave. An old man from the Qi family suddenly jumped over and blocked Xiao Hua and Qin Yun. You killed Qi Xiuhai and you want to leave just like that? The old man from the Qi family said coldly. He is courting death. Xiao Hua is very angry. He can't break that talisman, so he will be responsible for the deaths and injuries caused by it. Xiao Hua, just leave that little demon behind. The old man from the Qi family said coldly. Otherwise, I guarantee that I will kill your puppet avatar and your sickly precious granddaughter. I will also make her die a horrible death. Does your Qi family really want to start a war with our Xiao family? Xiao Hua said angrily. Humph. The old man from the Qi family laughed sinisterly. Xiao Hua looked around and saw that everyone else is silent. Clearly, they have already discussed this earlier. He Shu said with a frown. This is not good. Brother He Shu, you just signed a soul contract. You can't fight here. Don't meddle in other people's business. He Yun reminded. City Lord He, what do you mean by this? Don't tell me that you are tacitly allowing the Qi family to attack us? Xiao Hua angrily rebuked. You bastard, what exactly are your intentions? He Yun said. You killed Qi Xiuhai and you did it in my territory. It's already good enough that I didn't personally deal with you. Bai Zhe said with a frown. You humans, could it be that you want to capture little brother? Snatch the inscription spirit and the mysterious totem on his body? You two, hurry up and leave. Hyenyan said indifferently. There will be a battle here very soon. Humph. He Shu unhappily snorted and walked out. Little brother, I'm sorry. With the soul contract, our movements here are restricted. Bai Zhe sighed and said, but don't worry, if anything happens to you, we will definitely not let these guys off. They can't attack here, so they can't help Qin Yun and Xiao Hua. Surround Xiao Hua and that little demon. Hyenyan suddenly shouted. The inscription spirit belongs to us, everyone can share the totem runes. Xiao Hua wished that his puppet avatar had the formidable immortal emperor power of his main body, so that he could crush all these people to death. City Lord He, you are truly greedy. You want to monopolize the inscription spirit, aren't you afraid of being swallowed? Qin Yun sneered. A faint fiery red arrow suddenly appeared in his hand. Little demon, take the initiative and hand over the totem runes. That Xiao Hua is just a puppet avatar. He can't die, but you are different. Hyenyan laughed sinisterly and said, Don't worry, we have a very brilliant soul refiner here. They can easily take out your inscription spirit. Chapter 1491. Battle of Scarlet Slaughter. Hyenyan laughed loudly and said, You want to kill me? Who do you think you are? Forget about you, even if Qin Yun came. He wouldn't be able to kill me. Everyone roared with laughter. Brat, do you really not know your current situation? You actually want to kill the city lord. The Qi family elder laughed sinisterly. Let me take care of this brat. There's no need to trouble you elders. The heavenly tiger youth took out a long whip and walked towards Qin Yun. Surrender without a fight. Xiao Hua was the most furious. He shouted. You bunch of fellows, you don't put me, Xiao Hua, in your eyes. You will regret it. Shut up. The heavenly tiger youth lashed at Xiao Hua with his whip. Xiao Hua quickly reached out and grabbed the whip. At the same time, Qin Yun's body leaped forward like lightning. The sun-suppressing divine arrow in his hand pierced towards the heavenly tiger youth's head. Although his speed is very fast, the heavenly tiger youth's armor reacted even faster and formed a very strong barrier. The sun-suppressing divine arrow in Qin Yun's hand is very strong. It is filled with an incomparably fierce might. The most terrifying thing is that the heavenly might Tao astral energy condensed on the arrowhead, accompanied by the sharp arrowhead, smoothly pierced through the barrier. The sun-suppressing divine arrow pierced through the barrier and produced a dull bang sound. The arrowhead also pierced through the youth's head. The fierce immortal power that was poured into the sun-suppressing divine arrow exploded, shattering the youth's head. Because the sun-suppressing divine arrow did not have the support of the sun core, it lost its powerful 10,000 devour ability. Otherwise, its power would be even more terrifying. After the young man's head was smashed, the fragments flew everywhere. This also scared the group of people silly. The strength of this brat in front of them is actually so terrifying. Old Xiao, you should go. Leave this place to me. Qin Yun wanted Xiao Hua to protect Xiao Yingying and the others. Can you really handle it? Xiao Hua is somewhat worried. Kill. Hyenyan suddenly shouted. He did not rush out, the others did the same. They are not stupid. That young man killed the heavenly tiger youth in one move. He must be very strong. Furthermore, he might even have a very powerful talisman. Hyenyan also felt that he had miscalculated. They thought that Xiao Hua's puppet avatar was nothing to be afraid of and that it would be easy to take down a young man. But the young man in front of him was so terrifying. Qin Yun doesn't have time to deal with Xiao Hua anymore. He promptly used passing shadow extinction breath step and disappeared. Then he released the heaven and earth devil sealing goblet and enveloped Hyenyan. Hyenyan's reaction is very fast. As expected of a powerful warrior from Sacred Desolate, he can immediately dodge the heaven and earth devil sealing goblet. He shouted, Brat, you're courting death. You're the ones courting death. Qin Yun promptly used his formidable mental power to control the heaven and earth devil-sealing goblet to envelop the other Qi family old man. The old man from the Qi family didn't react as quickly as He Yenyun and was trapped by the heaven and earth devil-sealing goblet. Qin Yun suddenly went over and controlled the heaven and earth devil-sealing goblet to release violent lightning, causing the old man to scream miserably. Stop! The middle-aged man from the Qi clan suddenly rushed over. Qin Yun released tree vines and entangled the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man was suddenly entangled by the thick vines of the water jar. He was caught unprepared. Just as he was panicking, he saw Qin Yun appear in front of him. Hu Qi. Qin Yun shot the sun-suppressing divine arrow and it penetrated the middle-aged man's head. Boom! Then Qin Yun used Heaven Explosion Finger and destroyed the upper half of the middle-aged man's body. Another one died. Everyone sucked in a mouthful of cold air. That middle-aged man is a very strong 9th stage Earth Immortal, yet he was killed by a young man in just a few moves. Heaven and Earth Devil-Sealing Goblet kept releasing violent lightning and hacked down on the Qi family old man inside. Qin Yun controlled the goblet to fly up, then rushed over and chopped down with his palm. A dense killing intent immediately pervaded the air. Heaven Killing Palm. The terrifying killing aura was filled with ferocious celestial force. It exploded with a vast sound and landed on the old man's body, shattering the Qi family old man into pieces. Such a dreadful youth caused everyone present to be extremely apprehensive. Everyone quickly joined hands and kill him. He Yenyun also discovered that the situation is somewhat out of control because no one dares to attack. Qin Yun promptly took out the Lion King cannon. There are 10 sacred destruction flame arrows inside the Lion King cannon. Qin Yun shot them at a group of people not far away. Xiao xiao xiao, the sacred destruction flame arrows shot by the Lion King cannon are very fast. They are as fast as lightning and arrived at those people in the blink of an eye. Boom boom boom. Suddenly a violent and ferocious flame wave burst out inside the main hall and flooded the entire hall. Everyone jumped and fled in all directions within the scorching heat. The main hall has actually collapsed due to the intense explosion. Now, the interior of the manor has also been affected by the shockwave. The sacred destruction flame arrows are very dreadful. After the flame wave broke through the main hall, it engulfed all around. More than half of the east side of the manor has been destroyed in a short while. More than 20 of those people who wanted to attack Qin Yun just now have been killed or injured. Among them, several have their bodies smashed to pieces. Burnt flesh flew all over the place. The sacred destruction flame arrows are inside the Lion King cannon. Qin Yun promptly loaded them up and shot at those people who are running away. Boom, boom, boom. Another series of trembling sound exploded. More than 10 9th stage Earth Immortals have been killed. He Yenyun and the others are all extremely scared. They really did not expect that the thing in that youngster's hand would be so dreadful. It is enough to kill them all. City Master, quickly bring out the divine desolate puppets, someone suddenly shouted. Just as that person finished shouting, Qin Yun rushed over and killed him with sun-suppressing divine arrow. He Yenyun is extremely regretful in his heart. He should not have become enemies with Xiao Hua. They thought that Xiao Hua is just a puppet avatar. No matter how strong it is, it cannot be that strong. They can easily take it down. As for that youngster, they did not even take him seriously from the start. But now, that youngster has displayed very dreadful power, especially those cannon arrows. Just one arrow can kill a 9th stage Earth Immortal. Qin Yun raised the Lion King cannon and aimed at the people in the distance. As long as a 9th stage Earth Immortal is locked on by him, they will not be able to escape. They will be killed by one arrow and their body will explode. He Yenyun, don't run. Qin Yun chased after He Yenyun and shouted. He Yenyun ran towards the sun altar and roared, "Divine desolate puppets, quickly come out, a powerful enemy is attacking." The city master palace's defense is indeed very strong, but now someone still managed to sneak in. If He Yenyun knew that youngster is so dreadful, he would not have dared to act recklessly even if he had several more guts. Immortal family, Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate, Chi family, Heavenly Tiger Star and Long family, these few powerful factions people were killed by the arrows just now. Even if they survived, they were seriously injured and were hacked to death by Xiao Hua's saber. Xiao Hua knew that Qin Yun wants to attack the Sun Altar, but he did not expect Qin Yun to be so well prepared. Those cannon arrows were clearly prepared to deal with a large group of 9th stage Earth Immortals. Scarlet Slaughter Sacred City's people were also alarmed by the explosion and loud sound coming from the large villa. Many people immediately realized that an intense battle has occurred in the large villa. This caused the people inside the city to flee one after another in fear. They want to quickly leave the city. Qin Yun is attacking the Sun Altar. Quickly run, that guy is very dreadful. How did he attack inside? I don't know. In short, that guy has a way. Let's quickly leave the city. A large group of people shouted and frantically fled. Scarlet Slaughter Sacred City immediately became a pot of porridge. Many people felt that there is only one possibility for a battle to occur in the large villa. Qin Yun has arrived. Everyone knows that Qin Yun has a high chance of attacking the Sun Altar, so suddenly an intense battle occurred. Everyone thought that Qin Yun has arrived. It is indeed Qin Yun who is attacking. He Yenyun rushed towards the Sun Altar and said angrily, "Little demon, are you Qin Yun?" Qin Yun used 2 cannon arrows before and was unable to kill He Yenyun, so he could only use sun-suppressing divine arrow to kill him. He Yenyun came from Sacred Desolate and was chosen as the city master. His armor is very strong. His speed is also not slow. Very quickly he rushed to the entrance of the Sun Altar. After Qin Yun arrived at the entrance, he was blocked outside. "Ha ha ha, you can't enter. We have puppet warriors from Divine Desolate, you are dead for sure." He Yenyun laughed sinisterly. "You must be Qin Yun, you can turn into a little youth, it is really unexpected. City Master He, you should be happy first, you will die soon anyway," Qin Yun said coldly. At this moment, a large group of people arrived and surrounded Qin Yun. There are many sacred desolate soldiers among them. "What are you doing here? Quickly run." He Yenyun saw a large group of sacred desolate soldiers arrived and promptly shouted in fear. A sneer appeared on the corner of Qin Yun's mouth. He held the Lion King cannon and shot out sacred flame arrows one by one. Amidst a burst of violent explosion sound, many sacred desolate soldiers screamed miserably again and again. A large number of broken body parts flew in all directions and were burned by intense flame. "Qin Yun, you bastard, you will not have a good death," He Yenyun shouted in anger. More than half of their sacred desolate people died in a short while. The remaining few dozen are also seriously injured. They are rolling on the ground and screaming miserably. Qin Yun took out the sun-suppressing divine arrow and went to kill those people one by one. "Your Scarlet Slaughter Sacred City wants to capture me on behalf of Dao Yang Divine Sect. You will have to bear the consequences of my revenge," Qin Yun said with sneer. "You injured City Master Luo before, today I came to take revenge for him. You are dead for sure." He Yenyun's expression is sinister. He is now very anxious. Why haven't those divine desolate puppet warriors arrived yet? Suddenly, a powerful aura surged out from the entrance of the Sun Altar. Divine desolate puppet warriors came out. There is only one. This made Qin Yun feel a lot more at ease. He was worried that there would be many of them. If there is only one, then he can deal with it. He Yenyun laughed sinisterly and said, "Qin Yun, your time of death has arrived." In He Yenyun's eyes, the puppet warriors from Divine Desolate are certainly invincible. Dealing with Qin Yun is not a problem at all. The puppet warrior wore a set of light blue heavy armor, and its face was covered by a helmet, making it impossible to see its face. Chapter 1492. Again dismantle altar. Qin Yun is slightly startled. The person controlling the puppet is actually an elder from Dao Yang Divine Sect. I was the one who destroyed your sun altar. Back then it was your altar that kept attacking me. Moreover, the people you sent wanted to capture me and destroy my things. Qin Yun said in cold voice. Your Dao Yang Divine Sect should quickly give up on chasing me. With your little bit of power, you are not my match. Impudent! The puppet shouted loudly and walked out of the entrance barrier. A long sword suddenly appeared in its hand, and it ferociously stabbed at Qin Yun. Qin Yun put away the Lion King cannon and used the sun-suppressing divine arrow in his hand to block the sharp sword. Sun-suppressing divine arrow. You actually have sun-suppressing divine arrow. The puppet shouted in alarm and laughed sinisterly. Very good, this sun-suppressing divine arrow is mine. Within the sun altar, Yen Yun was also shocked to the extreme. He now knows why Qin Yun is so formidable. It is because he has sun-suppressing divine arrow. Sun-suppressing divine arrow is half damaged. If it had 10,000 devour ability, it would be at its strongest state. After Qin Yun and the puppet exchanged dozens of moves, he promptly retreated and fled. The puppet warriors were very strong and could release waves of powerful divine power. Although that set of armor was not divine armor, it was not far from it. The shield released by the vigorous divine power was very sturdy and could not be penetrated at all. Even if Qin Yun used space-piercing finger, his finger power would still be blocked. He now knows why Yen Yun is so confident that the puppet can kill him. Because the puppet is indeed very strong. Ha! Don't run, the puppet said with sinister smile. I am an elder of Dao Yang Divine Sect. The puppet I control has rich battle experience. You are just an immortal desolate ant. You are not my match. Qin Yun did not run far. Instead he ran around the large sun altar. If my sun-suppressing divine arrow was in perfect condition, that guy would have already been killed by me. Qin Yun put away the sun-suppressing divine arrow and took out 9 sun divine hammer. In one breath, he let the 9 sun divine hammer absorb all the fragments of the core in his hand. Only in this way could the 9 sun divine hammer stay awake for a longer period of time, so that it wouldn't fall asleep again at the critical moment. If the Dao Yang Divine Sect finds out that I have the 9 sun divine hammer, I can only throw caution to the wind. Qin Yun firmly held the 9 sun divine hammer, turned around and smashed it towards the puppet warrior. The ferocious power of a 9th-tier earth immortal burst out through the 9 sun divine hammer and suddenly increased several times. The explosive power violently hit the energy shield of the puppet warrior's armor. Rumble! An energy wave exploded out, destroying most of the buildings in the villa. The puppet warrior was also sent flying, but it did not suffer any injuries. What is that? As soon as Yen Yun ran out of the altar, he was sent flying by the shockwave, scaring them into running back into the altar. The puppet warrior was also shocked. He was an elder of the Dao Yang Divine Sect, so he knew very well what that thing was. 9 sun divine hammer, one of the sun souls. How did it end up in his hands? The puppet warrior is extremely shocked, but he is even more ecstatic, because he feels that he can definitely defeat Qin Yun. At that time, not only he can obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow, he can also obtain the 9 sun divine hammer. Ha ha ha, this is truly great. I finally know why you can destroy the sun altar. So you have this kind of thing. From today onwards it is mine. The puppet warrior crawled up and let out a loud howl of laughter. Qin Yun frowned. He released the heavenly Dao's ferocious power into heavenly lion and fused it into his arm and 9 sun divine hammer. When he destroyed the evil dragon mountain before, he tried it and released a very dreadful power. In the blink of an eye, many black nether sun totems appeared on his arm and the 9 sun divine hammer. His arm is attached to the nether sun totems, so it can withstand most of the Nether Sun's power. Dao Yang Divine Sect. Very soon there will be a 9-sun sect like you, forever losing the Sun Altar. You trash are not worthy of the Sun Altar. Qin Yun's speed is now extremely fast, especially when he used the light transformation sacred pupil. In the blink of an eye, he arrived beside the puppet warrior. Boom! His 9-sun divine hammer exploded out a wave of ferocious nether sun power, accompanied by heavenly might Dao aura and attacked. An incomparably loud explosion shook the entire Scarlet Slaughter holy city. A boundless pressure enveloped the entire city. Many people who came out of the city can feel how dreadful the aura erupting near the sun altar is. The puppet warrior was hit by the ferocious hammer attack, and its energy shield was finally broken. What kind of power is that? The puppet warrior who was sent flying is very astonished. Humph! So what if it's a puppet from Divine Desolate? Qin Yun promptly took out the Lion King cannon and shot out the remaining 10 sacred flame arrows. A series of explosion sounds rose up and set off waves of flame. In a short while, the flame enveloped an area of several thousand meters around the sun altar. The people outside the city saw the flame waves soaring up to the sky from the sun altar and immediately let out a burst of boiling shout. Is that Qin Yun even human? Is he a formidable human transformation inscription beast? Indeed, this kind of power is too dreadful. Could it be that even the divine desolate puppet warriors can't resist him? This guy is truly too heaven-defying. If he goes on like this, he will surely suffer heavenly punishment. How did Qin Yun enter that villa? That place's defense is very strong. A large group of people felt that this is inconceivable. Even though they are outside the city, they are still shocked by the aura erupting from the battle. He Shu and Bai Zhe tightly frowned as they watched. They did not expect that this young boy is actually the legendary Qin Yun. They finally understood why Qin Yun did not want to be their disciple, because they are not worthy to be Qin Yun's master. As the most formidable existences in the Scarlet Slaughter Swamp, now that they sense Qin Yun's power, they are all deeply worried. They are inscription beasts, their cultivation surpasses 9th level Earth Immortal. They can still move around in the Scarlet Slaughter Swamp, but humans can't. Qin Yun is a 9th level Earth Immortal human, yet he grasps such formidable power, it makes them feel an indescribable threat. Xiao Yuanmei already brought Xiao Yingying out of the city. Now both Xiao Yingying and Xiao Qianqian are secretly suspecting that this young boy is Qin Yun. Especially Xiao Yingying, she saw with her own eyes how Xiao Yuanmei turned Qin Yun into a young boy. Although she is naive and pure, now that she heard others say that Qin Yun attacked the sun altar, she immediately made the connection. Yuanmei, will Xiao Yun be alright? Xiao Yingying is somewhat worried about Qin Yun. He won't, Xiao Yun is very awesome. Xiao Yuanmei said with light smile and caressed Xiao Yingying's face. Xiao Hua is now near the sun altar. He is at the place where the battle is the most intense. Even though his puppet avatar is very strong, it was affected by the formidable power and suffered heavy injuries. Destruction. Destruction sacred flame. After the puppet warrior was hit by a large number of destruction sacred flame arrows, its armor also broke. It furiously said, "Did that slut star god give it to you? Don't curse her." Qin Yun furiously shouted. He rushed over and smashed the puppet warrior's face with his hammer, creating a large amount of sparks. Qin Yun, even if you can kill me after entering, you will fall into our hands sooner or later. You have things like sun-suppressing divine arrow and 9-sun divine hammer, you won't be able to live long. The puppet warrior furiously said. Qin Yun let out a deep shout and used 6-style forging dragon on the puppet warrior. The might shook the heaven and earth, a wave of ferocious aura swept out in all directions like great waves. Your Dao Yang divine sect, listen to me, if you continue to chase after Star God, one day I will slaughter my way to the divine desolate and completely annihilate your Dao Yang divine sect. Qin Yun stepped on the puppet warrior, whose body has cracked open, and said coldly, "Star God will die." The puppet warrior laughed sinisterly and said, "Qin Yun, if you destroy this altar again, there will be one more 9 sun sects chasing after Star God." Qin Yun furiously shouted and smashed a few more times. Then he took out the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron, and put the puppet warrior inside. Puppet warriors are not flesh and blood, they are just powerful puppets refined from many materials, they can't hurt. And the soul inside the puppet warrior can self-destruct. The main body is not affected at all. The vicinity of the sun altar finally calmed down. Qin Yun unleashed the floating immortal rune ability, and leaped to the top. Then he fiercely smashed the top layer. Rumble! The barrier released by the sun altar was directly smashed to pieces by the 9 sun divine hammer. The spectators outside the city finally saw Qin Yun leap up and attack the sun altar. Seeing the sun altar's barrier being smashed, everyone cried out involuntarily. Qin Yun broke the sun altar's barrier, took out the sun-suppressing divine arrow and stabbed it into the crack at the bottom of the top layer, causing the top layer to tilt up. After the sun altar's barrier is broken, it can be easily dismantled. The sun altar is only a huge stack of thick stone pieces. As long as one has a divine tool, they can easily dismantle it. Qin Yun is very experienced in dismantling altars. Very soon, only the bottom 3 layers are left. Inside the altar, there is only Hien Yun. The 9 sun divine hammer in Qin Yun's hand is still awake, it is spewing out intense energy. This altar is more or less the same as the previous one. After Qin Yun entered, he released his mental power to probe his surroundings. Soon, he arrived at the 3rd layer. Hien Yun is in the 3rd layer. You don't come over, believe it or not, I will destroy the god altar origin crystal, and we will perish together. Hien Yun held a talisman in his hand and shouted at Qin Yun. The talisman in my hand is a saint talisman. The transparent heaven and earth devil sealing goblet suddenly dropped down and enveloped Hien Yun, then burst out with violent thunder and lightning. I activated the saint talisman, you are done for, ha ha ha. Hien Yun laughed sinisterly. Qin Yun quickly took away the god altar origin crystal and the box containing the core fragment. Then he took away the heaven and earth devil sealing goblet and quickly went down to the 2nd layer. Hien Yun did not expect that Qin Yun could easily take away the god altar origin crystal. Now he is extremely apprehensive. He wanted to escape, but he discovered that he is being entangled by tree vines. Boom! The saint talisman exploded. Hien Yun screamed miserably from the explosion of his own saint talisman. Qin Yun will return after the explosion of the 3rd layer ends. Chapter 1493. Big Sister Qin Yun is holding the 9 sun divine hammer. He looked at Hien Yun, who is struggling on the ground, and said with smile, "Your saint talisman is not very strong, it actually failed to kill you. Don't kill me. You can make me do anything, just let me be your dog. I come from sacred desolate, I have sacred spirit, sacred body, I can sign soul contract with you." Hien Yun begged in despair, "Please help me, let me be your dog." Hien Yun is extremely afraid of death. It is not easy for him to live until now. Now is the great era, it is a great opportunity to increase cultivation. As long as he completes his mission in Immortal Desolate, after returning to Sacred Desolate, he will have a meteoric rise. Dog? A guy like you is not worthy to be my dog. I won't send you off. Qin Yun vigorously smashed the hammer down on Hien Yun's body. With a loud explosion sound, Hien Yun's body exploded into sparks. The inside of the sun altar is still very sturdy. After Qin Yun completely swallowed the flame released by the Saint Talisman, he walked outside. Xiao Hua is outside. His puppet avatar's injuries are not light. It was not injured by someone else, rather it was injured by the shockwave from the intense battle just now. Old Xiao, I am sorry. Qin Yun laughed. It's fine, to be able to see a sun altar being destroyed at close range, it is worth it, Xiao Hua said with smile. His puppet avatar was damaged mainly because it was injured by Qin Yun's power. All the people inside the villa are dead, they all wanted to capture Qin Yun together. Intense flames are still spreading inside the villa, hot air is rising to the sky. From a distance, this place looks like it is being distorted. Qin Yun dismantled the last 3 layers of the altar and placed them inside the 9 Sun Divine Soul. This time, he tore apart a complete sun altar. 9 Sun Divine Hammer is truly useful, it is simply a sharp tool for dismantling altars. Qin Yun looked at the hammer in his hand, it is still in an awakened state. After dismantling the sun altar, he obtained a box of core fragments, there are more than 1,000 of them. Old Xiao, let's go, Qin Yun said. Qin Yun took out the magic mirror and contacted Xiao Yueme. He gave Xiao Yueme a magic mirror before, it is specially refined by him, they can communicate within a short distance. Yueme, where are you? Qin Yun said. You better find a place far away from the crowd. Brother, are you injured? Xiao Yueme asked. Of course not, those guys can't injure me. I destroyed the altar. Qin Yun said with smile. Very good. Xiao Yueme is very happy, then told Qin Yun a direction and told him to go there. Qin Yun and the injured Xiao Hua immediately left the villa. When they arrived at the city outside, it was already empty and many buildings had collapsed. After Xiao Hua and Qin Yun left the city, they ran for less than an hour and saw Xiao Yueme and the others. Grandfather Xiao Yun. When Xiao Yingying saw that Qin Yun and Xiao Hua had returned, she felt a lot more at ease. Everything is fine, let's go, Qin Yun said with smile. Xiao Qianqian did not dare to speak. She had never imagined that this young boy in front of her was actually that legendary great demon. Now, he had even destroyed a sun altar. There were still many people watching from the outside of Scarlet Slaughter's sacred city. They wanted to wait for the flames to scatter, see if the altar at the very bottom had been torn down. Qin Yun's group left Scarlet Slaughter's sacred city and left Scarlet Slaughter Swamp. After they left for more than an hour, Qin Yun said with frown, "Someone is following us." He turned his head and saw He Shu and Bai Zhe, these 2 formidable inscription beasts. "Little brother, wait!" He Shu promptly shouted. "You guys are really fast, luckily this rat's nose is very sensitive, it can find you," Bai Zhe said with smile. "2 friends, what's the matter?" Qin Yun asked. "Nothing, we just want to make friends with you and exchange some inscription techniques with you," He Shu said. "Who are they?" Xiao Yueme asked in low voice. "These 2 friends are very formidable inscription beasts." Xiao Hua introduced He Shu and Bai Zhe to Xiao Yingying and the others. Xiao Yueme and the other 2 women are very shocked to find out that these are formidable heavenly rune beasts and sun rune beasts. "Don't be afraid, we won't eat people," He Shu said. "I am not tasty at all, my flesh is very sour, you guys definitely won't like it." Xiao Yueme giggled and said. This caused He Shu and Bai Zhe to laugh. "Little brother, don't tell me you are really just a youngster?" Bai Zhe curiously asked. "Of course not." Xiao Yueme spoke, she placed her hand on Qin Yun's back, making him return to his tall and handsome appearance. "Little girl, your ability is truly brilliant," Bai Zhe said with smile. "I also have transformation ability, but I can only transform into myself, I cannot transform into others." He Shu and Bai Zhe can see that Xiao Yueme's ability is very strong. Xiao Yueme rolled her eyes and said with smile, "He Shu and Bai Zhe, do you want to learn inscription techniques from my brother? How about this, you join my brother's inscription gate. To be honest, I am also an inscription master, moreover I am also the great elder and vice-sect master of the inscription gate. If you join the inscription gate, I will confer you the title of left and right protectors." "Really?" He Shu very happily said, I am very interested in human sex. I have been wanting to join for a long time. My brother is the sect master, but normally he doesn't care about anything. If you join my inscription gate, you will be able to learn many good runes and totems, Xiao Yuemei said with charming smile. Alright. He Shu and Bai Zhe became very excited hearing this and immediately agreed. They believed that the inscription gate must be a very large sect, otherwise it would be impossible for them to nurture a dreadful sect master like Qin Yun who can tear down 2 altars. They have seen Qin Yun's superb inscription technique, so now they yearn for the inscription gate even more. Originally Qin Yun wanted to refuse, but Xiao Yuemei secretly pinched him. It is true that Qin Yun is the sect master of the inscription gate, but the inscription gate is now in a state of disunity. They don't even have a sect. Moreover, he has not gathered disciples of the inscription gate for many years. Moreover, the inscription gate doesn't have any disciples, only elders like Yu Shutian, Jian Linglong and other inscription masters. As soon as they entered the inscription gate, they were conferred the title of elder by Xiao Yuemei. Xiao Hua is very curious about what kind of inscription gate is. In his imagination, it must be a very high and mighty existence. Alright, sign a contract with me. Pledge loyalty to my inscription gate. Xiao Yuemei took out 2 contract talismans. Xiao Hua said with smile, "Congratulations to the 2 of you for joining Little Brother's inscription gate. Your future prospects will be limitless." He Shu and Bai Zhe thought about how they can learn superb inscription technique from Qin Yun and became very happy. After signing the contract, Xiao Yuemei proudly smiled and said, "Don't call me Grand Elder or Vice Sect Master from now on, just call me Big Sister Leader." Big Sister Leader, where is our inscription gate? He Shu curiously asked. Far away from the distant star. Xiao Yuemei said with smile. Relax, our inscription gate's headquarters is very cool and awesome. You will know later. The reason why He Shu and Bai Zhe believe that the inscription gate is very awesome is mainly because of Qin Yun. We should go out first. Qin Yun said. Xiao He, Xiao Bai, you should be invincible existences in the Scarlet Slaughter Swamp, right? Xiao Yuemei asked. Then did you hoard some delicious food? Ordinary divine fruits are useless to us. We can grow mainly because of the sacred infant fruit. He Shu said. Our sacred infant fruit is also very special. Bai Zhe said. The Scarlet Slaughter Swamp is our cradle. We are absolutely safe here, but it is too boring here. So we want to go out and take a look and learn more human knowledge. Don't worry, if you follow me, I guarantee that you will learn a lot. Xiao Yuemei giggled and said. Big sister, how many disciples does our inscription gate have? Bai Zhe asked. Less than 10. Xiao Yuemei said. How come there are so few? He Shu thought that he misheard. Aren't we very powerful? Why are there so few people? Bai Zhe is also very surprised. Our inscription gate specializes in inscription. We are very powerful. Xiao Yuemei said with mischievous smile. We will not disappoint you, believe in Big Sister. He Shu and Bai Zhe now feel as if they have been tricked into boarding a pirate ship. Xiao Yuemei can see that their eyes are filled with disappointment, so she promptly stopped. Xiao Hua and Xiao Yingying also stopped. They don't know what Xiao Yuemei wants to do. Xiao Hua can also see that the inscription gate is a trap. Xiao Yuemei took out a small mirror, took out a talisman paper, and started shining it on the mirror. Suddenly many runes appeared on the talisman paper. In just a few breaths, a talisman has been crafted. This is the ability of Gemini Heavenly Rune. It was refined into Xiao Yuemei's small mirror. After Xiao Yuemei finished crafting the talisman, she casually threw it. The talisman exploded with intense thunder and fire. Xiao Hua and He Shu are both dumbstruck looking at this scene. Xiao Yuemei only used a small mirror to quickly craft Immortal Talisman. Although its might is not very strong, the time needed to craft it is very short. In the future, she will surely be able to craft very strong immortal talisman using this kind of method. Xiao Yuemei said with charming smile, "Did you see? This is just something I casually made. If I had more powerful talisman paper, I would have spent a bit more time crafting even stronger immortal talisman." Big sister is truly awesome. He Shu's face revealed a warm smile. Big sister, will we be able to master this kind of skill in the future? Bai Zhe asked with smile. Of course we can, Xiao Yuemei said with smile. Xiao Hua is also very much looking forward to it, he asked. Miss Yuemei, does the inscription gate still accept people? I want to join. Your aptitude is a bit lacking. If you join, you can only be an outer sect disciple, are you willing? Xiao Yuemei said with smile. Then forget it, I will continue to be the Xiao family master, Xiao Hua said with smile. He thought that he would be able to become an elder or protector. He is a grand immortal emperor, yet he is only an outer sect disciple. This caused him to be very disappointed. How about this, you become an outer sect elder, you will be in charge of outer sect matters. But your immortal emperor true body must come, Xiao Yuemei said again. Xiao Hua said with smile. My true body is already on the way. After we leave Scarlet Slaughter Swamp, we will meet my immortal emperor true body. Alright, then we will quickly leave. Xiao Yuemei is very happy because she has tricked an immortal emperor into joining them. After they flew for a while, they suddenly discovered a large group of people in a muddy area ahead. Chapter 1494. 1494 Chapter 1494 Chapter 1494. Eating Mountain. There are more than 10 people from Heavenly Tiger Planet. Xiao Zhongjie and those Heavenly Tiger Planet people are chatting and laughing while the third brother has a bitter expression. Logically speaking, the relationship between the Heavenly Tiger Planet's people and the Xiao family's disciples should be very bad. But now they were walking together. Heavenly Tiger Planet people also discovered Xiao Hua and others and immediately rushed over. Grandfather, why are you here? Xiao Zhongjie saw Xiao Hua and asked in shock. Are you seriously injured? And Xiao Hua nodded his head. His expression is somewhat unsightly. He said coldly, Why are you two together with those guys? Xiao Hua thoroughly understands the group of Heavenly Tiger Planet bandits. He has no good impression of them. You are Xiao Hua's puppet avatar? A middle-aged man from the Heavenly Tiger Planet, carrying a large saber, chuckled and said, The Xiao family's patriarch is right in front of me. However, he is a weak puppet avatar. I feel that I can kill him with one slash. Big brother, he is my grandfather. Give me some face and don't act recklessly, Xiao Zhongjie said worriedly. The burly man from Heavenly Tiger Planet looked at Xiao Zhongjie and OL3 and laughed. The two of you have already killed your OL4, OL6 and OL2. It's not a big deal to kill your grandfather, right? Xiao Zhongjie and the third brother's expression changed. Xiao Hua is very calm because he understands his grandchildren very well. Xiao Yingying is very sad because her brothers who were usually together with her are all dead. Grandfather, please listen to our explanation, Xiao Zhongjie promptly said. The Heavenly Tiger Planet man laughed and said, Explanation my ass. Didn't you two agree to leave Xiao family and return to Heavenly Tiger Planet with us? Why are you afraid of this old man? You really disappoint me, Xiao Hua said in low voice. Xiao Hua, you are the patriarch of Xiao family. You must have many Xiao family runes and totems. Pass them to us and you can leave safely. The Heavenly Tiger Planet man looked at Xiao Yingying and said again. Also, make that little girl hand over the holy infant fruit. There were more than 10 people on Heavenly Tiger Star's side, and they were all very strong Earth Immortals. Their equipment was also very strong. They believed that among Qin Yun's group, only Xiao Hua was very strong. However, Xiao Hua was seriously injured, so they were not afraid at all. Everyone knew that the people from Heavenly Tiger Planet were a bunch of ferocious bandits. What they were doing now was indeed like robbers. Qin Yun had expended quite a bit of his energy, so it would indeed be quite tiring for him to fight. However, with Wizard and Black Rat around, they were very calm. "Fellow from Heavenly Tiger Planet, aren't you afraid of offending our Shao clan?" Xiao Hua said in a deep voice. This time, he had used a puppet clone to enter the holy city of slaughter, but he had suffered a bellyful of vexation. He also knew the status of their Shao family in the eyes of those great powers. "Your Shao family is nothing. Our Heavenly Tiger Star has so many immortal emperors, we are not afraid of your Shao clan." The middle-aged man from the Heavenly Tiger Star laughed and said, "Xiao Hua, quickly hand over the runes and totems. Otherwise, your two granddaughters will suffer a very miserable fate." Qin Yun looked at Bai Zhe and Xiao Yuemei and asked, "I'm a bit tired, who wants to go up?" "I'll go," Black Rat said. "Let me go," Bai Zhe said with smile. Just as he walked out, Xiao Yuemei blocked his way. "Let me go, I am the big sister, let me show you a few moves," Xiao Yuemei said with smile. "Although I am not a battle type, I am more than enough to deal with these little bandits." Heavenly Tiger Star's people all find this very funny. They can't see how strong Bai Zhe is. And in their eyes, Xiao Yuemei is just a little girl, yet she is actually fighting to deal with them. Xiao Yuemei took out a small dagger and walked towards the large man from Heavenly Tiger Star. She delicately shouted, "Just now you said you wanted to attack Sister Yingying, right? Little girl, not only I want to attack them, I also want to attack you. Little girl, you are quite pretty, ha ha." The large man from Heavenly Tiger Star did not put Xiao Yuemei in his eyes at all. He laughed loudly and extended his hand to grab Xiao Yuemei's chest. After Xiao Yuemei dodged, she swiftly and violently waved the small dagger in her hand, cutting off the large man's arm from his armpit. Heavenly Tiger Star's people turned pale with fright. It must be known that the large man's arm is covered in armor, yet it was so easily cut off by a little girl. "You!" the large man shouted in alarm and anger. He did not even finish speaking as a bloody hole appeared on his forehead. Xiao Yuemei's dagger, under the control of her mental power, pierced through the large man's head in a flash. That dagger is not an ordinary weapon. Qin Yun can also see this. He is somewhat surprised that Xiao Yuemei can control such a powerful weapon. Xiao Qianqian also promptly covered Xiao Yingying's eyes, not letting her see this kind of bloody scene. She is also incomparably shocked in her heart because this little girl Xiao Yuemei can kill people without blinking an eye. Xiao Yuemei used her mental power to control the dagger and quickly pierced through. In the blink of an eye, the dagger pierced through the heads of several large men from Heavenly Tiger Star and killed them. Even Xiao Hua's eyes are wide open looking at this scene. The delicate and pretty little girl before him actually has such dreadful strength. Dealing with those tyrannical Earth immortals of Heavenly Tiger Star is as easy as kneading mud. Quickly run. Just as a middle-aged man from Heavenly Tiger Star screamed in fear, he was stabbed to death by the dagger. The remaining few large men began fleeing in disorder, but their speed is not as fast as the dagger. The dagger is like a beam of light, it pierced through very quickly. Xiao Yuemei's control has reached perfection, it can easily pierce through those armor and kill the enemy. Very soon, all the people from Heavenly Tiger Star have been killed by Xiao Yuemei. Xiao Zhongjie is so scared that his legs are trembling. He knows that Xiao Yuemei was sent by Xiao Hua to protect Xiao Yingying. However, he did not know that this little girl's strength is so dreadful. "Third brother, fifth brother, come in by yourselves." Xiao Hua coldly took out a black storage bag and said, "I want to capture you and bring you back for punishment." At this moment, Xiao Yuemei's dagger is floating in the air, as if it will fly out at any moment. The two grandchildren are scared silly, they rolled and crawled towards Xiao Hua and entered the black storage bag. Big sister, you are so awesome, He Shu said with smile. How can that dagger be so powerful? It can easily pierce through those armors. Bai Zhe curiously asked. Secret. Xiao Yueme mischievously laughed and said, I refined it myself, I will also teach you how to refine it later. Qin Yun did not say anything. Xiao Yueme once followed Yu Shutian to the starry sky, she must have found many good things. Xiao Hua is willing to join the inscription gate and become an outer sect elder. Later on, he found out that the inscription gate doesn't have any outer sect disciples. His position as an outer sect elder is just a title. He Shu, Bai Zhe and Xiao Hua very much want to learn Xiao Yueme's ability to craft immortal talismans by just using a mirror. Therefore, they are very willing to join the inscription gate. Finally, they left the Scarlet Slaughter Swamp. They saw Xiao Hua's immortal emperor body. After Xiao Hua's immortal emperor body arrived, he signed a soul contract with Xiao Yueme and joined the inscription gate. Sect Master, Yingying's illness is not completely cured. I am really worried that she will relapse, Xiao Hua said with sigh. Qin Yun caressed Xiao Yingying's face and said with smile, I have thought of a way to help Sister Yingying overcome that evil power. Sister Yingying, I will refine a special soul body into your body. It will allow you to obtain a formidable power. You can use that power to suppress that evil power. Thank you, big brother Xiao Yun, Xiao Yingying said with sweet smile. She now knows that Qin Yun is much older than her. Qin Yun took out the floating cloud pagoda and entered with Xiao Yueme. The two of them cooperated and used Star Spirit to refine an overwhelming righteous martial spirit. Then he refined the martial spirit into Xiao Yingying's body and taught her how to use that power. Sect Master, thank you so much, Xiao Hua said with smile. You are welcome. Qin Yun laughed. Old Xiao, quickly go back. You must have a lot of things to take care of. Xiao Hua brought Xiao Yingying and Xiao Qianqian back to Xiao family. Qin Yun took out the compass, looked at the direction of the floating cloud heavenly seal and said, Let's return to Heavenly Wind God Mountain first. Bai Zhe also followed Qin Yun and Xiao Yueme towards Heavenly Wind God Mountain. Heavenly Wind God Mountain is not far from the Scarlet Slaughter Swamp. Qin Yun and the others arrived very quickly. What caused Qin Yun to be amazed is that Bai Zhe can actually enter Heavenly Wind God Mountain. Although we are Tao immortals, we can enter Earth immortal level divine mountains. This is the advantage of us heavenly rune beasts and sun rune beasts. Bai Zhe said with smile. Xiao Yueme said with mischievous laugh. Xiao He, I will bring you to attack other divine mountains in the future. Heavenly Tiger Star, Xian family, Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate, Long family, those scoundrels have occupied many good Earth immortal level divine mountains. Alright, let's do it as soon as possible. We also hate those guys, Bai Zhe said. Back when they were in Holy City's palace, they were angered to the extreme. Originally, Sun Rune Beasts and Heavenly Rune Beasts were the overlords of their own holy lands. They basically did not care about those divine mountains. But now, Xiao Yueme has roped in these two powerful little brothers and let them push the mountain. This is a very easy matter for them. After arriving at the summit, Qin Yun shouted, Xiao Lu, quickly come out. Lu Jian has been on the mountain all along. He immediately ran out and asked, Uncle, you returned from Scarlet Slaughter Holy City so quickly? Did it go smoothly? Very smoothly, Qin Yun said with smile. Oh, that's right, what about Old Mountain? Just as he finished speaking, the dumbass mountain god drilled his head out of the ground. Xiao Yueme let out a cry in fright. I am invincible. After the mountain god drilled his head out, he laughed loudly and said, Stand firm, I am about to move. What? Qin Yun suddenly sensed that Heavenly Wind God Mountain is moving. Xiao Yueme very excitedly said, Heavenly Wind God Mountain is moving, moreover its speed is very fast, a divine mountain that can move, very awesome. Old mountain, where are you going? Qin Yun is also very amazed. He finally feels that this mountain god is somewhat useful. I want to eat a mountain. Mountain god laughed loudly and yelled, I want to be invincible. Chapter 1495. The Divine Mountains are also in a frenzy. It could be said that this Tian Feng God Mountain was the mountain god's body. If he wanted to become stronger, he had to make the Tian Feng God Mountain evolve continuously and become even more powerful. At that moment, the mountain god was controlling Tian Feng God Mountain to move. The God Mountain was huge, but it wasn't slow at all. It was like a ship sailing in the sea, very stable. Where are we going? Xiao Yuemei asked. I want to eat mountains. The mountain god shouted, Where can I eat mountains nearby? Qin Yun looked at Lu Jian and said, Little Lu, those fellows from the heavenly tiger planet occupied quite a few pretty good divine mountains in the Earth Prefecture, right? Bring old Shan to eat. Okay. Lu Jian quickly pointed to the location and guided the mountain god to control the Tian Feng God Mountain to run on flat ground. Qin Yun secretly looked forward to the evolution of the Heaven Wind God Mountain because Shimen Dazhuang previously said that as long as the Divine Mountain evolved, it would bear divine fruit. Qin Yun is now a 9th layer Earth Immortal. If he can bear a divine fruit, he will be able to quickly become a Tao Immortal after eating it. The Earth Province was where the Earth Immortals, Tao Immortals, and Golden Immortals lived. Qin Yun needs to break through quickly. Only by doing so can he resist the other realm factions, Immortals and Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate. At night, Qin Yun took out the floating cloud pagoda and entered it with Xiao Yuemei. He Shu and Bai Zhe were outside listening to Lu Jian's boast. Lu Jian doesn't know that Black Rat Bai Zhe are two powerful inscription beasts, otherwise he would not have dared to act so recklessly. Lu Jian had traveled the Jianghu for many years, so he knew many things. The Black Rat and Bai Zhe were both very curious about the affairs of humans. Because the dumbass mountain god was from the previous era, he was very curious about the current era and was also fascinated by the story. The Tian Feng God Mountain moved quickly in the night, and it even crossed a large river. Many people saw it along the way. Seeing a huge divine mountain moving, those people all shouted in fright. Quite a few people even followed the heavenly wind divine mountain, wanting to see where this divine mountain was going. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuemei are in the 20th floor of the floating cloud pagoda, fiddling with the star god altar. This little sun altar is Big Sister Star God's altar? She transformed it into this. Xiao Yuemei is very curious. She looked around the small white altar. Xiao Yuemei and Qin Yun are constantly calling out to Star God. They are very much looking forward to Star God's reply. When Qin Yun attacked Scarlet Slaughter Sacred City, he killed many powerful Earth Immortals and once again collected a batch of remnant souls. Now his stock of departed souls is increasing. In the middle of the night, the altar finally reacted. The star god did not appear, but her voice could be heard. Xiao Yun, is there something urgent? The star god asked. I just found a relatively safe place to hide, only then did I have the chance to answer you. Big Sister Star God, I am Yuemei. Xiao Yuemei hastily shouted. How are things on your side? Is it very dangerous? Yuemei? You and little Yun are together. The star god laughed. You little girl, I finally heard your voice. The star god altar you Shutian and others found is rather ancient and dilapidated, so it takes a very long time before they can perform a sacrifice. Moreover, you Shutian and others have never seen the appearance of a star god before. It is also because the star god altar is too inferior. Big Sister Star God, I have successfully dismantled a sun altar, moreover it is a complete 18 layers one. Qin Yun said with mischievous smile. Ah, so fast. Very good. Star God giggled and said, Xiao Yun, this is a very big pleasant surprise. If I were in Immortal Desolate, I would have kissed you. When I attacked the altar, I encountered a divine desolate puppet warrior. It was even controlled by an elder of Dao Yang divine sect. He knows that I have 9 Sun divine hammer. Qin Yun explained the situation. It doesn't matter, don't be afraid of them. Star God said with smile. Immortal Desolate is so big it won't be easy for them to kill you. I am actually not afraid of them, I am worried about you. Qin Yun said with sigh. Another 9 Sun sect is going all out to kill Big Sister Star God. Star God said with smile. What are you afraid of? They can't do anything to me. Dao Yang divine sect has so many experts, moreover, they sent so many people to kill me, aren't I still fine now? I will first perform death sacrifice. Qin Yun took out a very large black pearl. It is a large amount of remnant souls he collected. He placed the pearl on the small altar. The black pearl trembled. The black remnant souls inside suddenly disappeared, all of them drilled into the altar. The white altar released waves of spatial fluctuations, transmitting the sacrificial power to the divine desolate, allowing the star god to absorb it. So many. Star God said in amazement. Are there many experts from Immortal Desolate? And those guys delivered themselves to my door. Qin Yun said with smile. Xiao Yun, my situation hasn't stabilized yet, so I can't give you anything for the time being. Wait until I find a safe place to hide, then I'll give you something good. The star god smiled and said, the sacrifice you gave me this time is a great supplement. I might be able to break through. Really? That's great. Qin Yun said with nod. Xiao Yun, you must remember, don't kill innocent people for sacrifice. You can only kill those who threaten your life, understand? Star God warned sternly. Got it. Qin Yun replied. That's good, then let's do this first. Wait until I have settled down, then I will send something to you. Star God said with charming smile. Uma, goodbye, kiss. Goodbye, big sister Star God. Uma said with sweet smile. Qin Yun also felt a lot more relieved. He has finally provided Star God with not a small amount of help. As long as Star God's strength can become stronger, Divine Desolate will be even more stable. Heavenly Wind Divine Mountain's movement is rather slow. It will take several days to reach the vicinity of another divine mountain. Qin Yun looked outside the window. He can see that the divine mountain is currently moving on a wasteland. Brother, take this opportunity. Xiao Yuemei took out a small mirror and said with charming smile, record some runes inside. Qin Yun took out the floating cloud divine needle and said with smile, all right. Floating cloud divine needle. Xiao Yuemei lightly yelled. She can recognize the floating cloud divine needle in Qin Yun's hand. Yuemei, I want to go find the floating cloud heavenly seal. I have only found a part of it, it is the imprint spirit. Qin Yun said. There are 2 other parts, one part is the imprint body, it is squarish, the other part is the imprint head, that is the beast carving on the heavenly seal, I remember it is a small dragon. Xiao Yuemei said. Floating cloud heavenly seal is very awesome. And the second part is in Earth Province, I must quickly find it. Qin Yun laughed and then took out the Gemini treasure mirror. Xiao Yuemei looked at the Gemini treasure mirror and said, Brother, Sister Kong and Yanyan's Gemini heavenly rune has evolved very strongly. Mother and daughter are cultivating together through Gemini heavenly rune, their cultivation has increased very quickly. Qin Yun began carving the totems he obtained during this period of time on the Gemini treasure mirror. For example, Sacred Fire Totem and Black Tortoise Totem, they have been carved on the Gemini treasure mirror. Black Tortoise Totem, Sacred Fire Totem, and also our Guang Han Palace's Arrow Totem. Xiao Yuemei looked at the totems and very happily said with smile, I can use these totem runes to deceive many people. After Qin Yun finished carving them on his Gemini treasure mirror, he placed them on Xiao Yuemei's small mirror. Soon after, he carved many star and moon runes. These are all evolved runes of him and Momo. After they are assembled and imprinted on talisman paper, they can be refined into very strong, immortal talismans. This process took Qin Yun several days. Xiao Yuemei's main purpose is to make immortal talismans. So long as she buys talisman paper and injects blood spirit power into her small mirror, she can print runes. Brother, this seems like a flower totem. Is it Sister Yalin's flower totem? Xiao Yuemei asked. I wonder what use this flower totem has. Qin Yun said. It has great use. Talismans made from flower totem can be used to find many flower-type immortal medicines. Moreover, it can also be used to grow flower-type medicinal herbs, Xiao Yuemei said with smile. The use is indeed not small, Qin Yun said with smile. Xiao Yuemei obtained many runes and totems this time. She is very satisfied. Oh, that's right, there are many heavenly lion totems on the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. How many heavenly lion totems have you mastered now? Xiao Yuemei asked. Actually, those heavenly lion totems can be fused together. I haven't done it yet, I should be able to do it after a period of time, Qin Yun said. He often studies those heavenly lion totems. If they can truly fuse together, it will be a very strong heavenly lion totem, Xiao Yuemei said. When the time comes, we will be able to produce even stronger heavenly lion power. That is a type of totem that can restrain dragons. Suddenly, Lu Jiayan's shout came from outside. Uncle, we saw a divine mountain. Lu Jiayan is very excited. After running around the heavenly wind god mountain for several days and nights, they finally arrived near a god mountain. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuemei promptly went out. In these past few days, this divine mountain that can run attracted many people's attention. It attracted many people to follow along the way. Although the devil mirror can't be used, news spread very quickly in Immortal Desolate. Everyone knows about this strange divine mountain. And the most shocking news is that the sun altar inside the Scarlet Slaughter Sacred City has been destroyed. It can be said that it once again caused a sensation in the entire Immortal Desolate. Sacred Desolate and Divine Desolate are also spreading this news. 8 sun altars, now only 6 remain. A single person can actually destroy 2 sun altars. Everyone inside the Purple Ice Sacred City knows that it was done by Qin Yun. They also know that Qin Yun is an Earth Immortal and cannot enter the Purple Ice Mountain range, but they are still very worried. What kind of divine mountain is that? It looks very small, Qin Yun asked. That divine mountain's energy is very good, Bai Zhe said with smile. Compared to our divine mountain, it is a bit weak, but in the Earth Province, it can be considered a very good divine mountain. Black Rat Bai Zhe is very knowledgeable about the divine mountain's energy. After all, they are Sun Rune Beast and Heavenly Rune Beast. They are very sensitive towards Sun Divine Stone's energy. That divine mountain originally belonged to a big yellow cow. Later it was snatched away by Heavenly Tiger Star people, Lu Jiayan said. Chapter 1496. Mountain full of divine fruits, Xiao Yuemei said with smile. Open your mouth wide and eat? Mountain God crawled out of a large rock. Although his face is not as pale as before, his hair is very messy. He stood on top of a large rock and shouted, Eat, eat, eat. This heavenly wind divine mountain's appearance has already been changed by the mountain god. Moreover, it has been moving for several days, so nobody knows that this is the heavenly wind divine mountain. It must be known that many people have been following the heavenly wind divine mountain for the past few days. They want to see what this divine mountain is doing. Now, the heavenly wind divine mountain suddenly started shaking. Several incomparably thick stone ropes suddenly emerged from the waist of the mountain. These stone ropes are very thick. Each one is several tens of meters thick, even over 100 meters thick. Moreover, they are very long. The rock turned into a thick rope that slithered on the ground like a snake, quickly charging towards the divine mountain in front of them. There are many people on the divine mountain. They are all panicking because their divine mountain has been pierced by 5 thick stone rope. Qin Yun and others now know how the divine mountain is going to eat a mountain. After the stone ropes pierced through the slightly shorter divine mountain, the energy inside it is being rapidly absorbed. Qin Yun and others originally thought that the mountain god will eat the entire divine mountain, but now it seems like he is only absorbing the energy inside the divine mountain. Roughly how long will it take? He Shu said in amazement. It should be very fast, right? From what I remember, it takes a very long time for a divine mountain to swallow another divine mountain. That is because those divine mountains are dead and I am alive. I am the soul of a divine mountain, so I can eat that divine mountain very quickly. The mountain god proudly smiled and said again, so long as I eat a few more divine mountains, I will be able to evolve. The heavenly tiger people don't know what is going on, they are doing their best to attack the heavenly wind divine mountain. However, the heavenly wind divine mountain has a very strong mountain protection formation. Their attacks are completely ineffective. Spectators are very amazed, they can clearly see that a divine mountain is devouring another divine mountain's energy. The devouring speed is very astonishing. Qin Yun and others can see that the divine mountain's energy is dissipating bit by bit. Most dreadful thing is that many trees on the divine mountain are withering at a very fast speed. On the other hand, the trees of Tianfeng God Mountain were full of vitality and were evolving. In just over an hour, the divine mountain on the other side had become a barren mountain. The trees on the mountain had all withered and turned into dust. The most shocking thing was that the godly mountain that had been devoured originally had many sturdy mountain rocks, but now those mountain rocks had become very fragile. A casual touch would cause a large piece of it to shatter. I'm done. The mountain god laughed. Let's move on to the next one. Lu Jiayan immediately instructed mountain god to continue devouring the divine mountain occupied by the Tianhu star. Xiao Yueme said, if we continue eating like this, sooner or later, won't it become a very high-level divine mountain? Of course. If I evolve a few more times, I can even transform. The mountain god laughed. For example, you can become a very powerful stone tiger, or a stone dragon, or a stone eagle. It will be invincible in the world, ha ha ha, Xiao Yueme said with smile. Very good, from now on this mountain will be renamed as Divine Inscription Mountain. It will be our Inscription Gate's headquarters in the Nine Desolate. Qin Yun let Xiao Yueme do whatever she wants because Xiao Yueme is very enthusiastic about the Inscription Gate. In the next 10 days, the mountain god controlled the divine mountain to rampage and devour all the divine mountains controlled by the heavenly tiger star in the Earth province. The people following the mountain god don't dare to fly too close because if they get too close, the mountain god will release a very strong gale to blow them away. Although they can only watch from far away, the people following the mountain god discovered that there are people inside the divine mountain. They also discovered that there is a very strong mountain protecting great formation. Just as they are wondering who is inside the divine mountain, they saw the divine mountain suddenly burst out with very strong golden light. Qin Yun and the others suddenly sensed that the entire divine mountain is releasing a very strange energy. What shocked them the most is that the trees on the divine mountain suddenly produced many divine fruits in the blink of an eye. There are at least a few dozen trees that produced bright red divine fruits. They look very delicious. The people near the divine inscription mountain saw the divine fruits all over the mountain and immediately became excited. They crazily shouted. Many people disregarded their lives and rushed towards the divine inscription mountain. The divine inscription mountain's mountain protecting great formation will become stronger as the divine mountain evolves. The people attacking the mountain are all blocked by the mountain protecting great formation. So many fruits. Xiao Yueme's beautiful eyes flickered as she shouted in pleasant surprise. They are not completely ripe yet. The mountain god said with smile. Wait for a period of time, when I completely evolve, these divine fruits will completely mature and you can eat them as you please. Old mountain, You are truly awesome, Xiao Yueme said with smile. Of course. The mountain god laughed loudly and said, I will become even more awesome in the future. After he finished speaking, he drilled into a stone. This is our divine inscription mountain. Xiao Yueme happily looked at a nearby tree and sweetly said, The red fruits are really big, there must be a lot of juice, they are very sweet and crispy. Qin Yun said with smile, Yueme, these divine fruits are not tasty. We humans will feel very uncomfortable eating them. Really? Xiao Yueme curled her lips and said, Brother, don't lie to me. The divine fruits I obtained before are all very unpalatable. However, the divine fruits of this divine mountain are produced by Old Mountain. Maybe they will be different. Qin Yun said with smile, Just wait and see. Roar. Suddenly a beast roar came from below the mountain. Bai Zhe said with smile, Inscription beast is attacking, it seems like it is a very strong tiger. Let them attack. We will wait here for the divine fruits to mature. Qin Yun said, Sect Master, if this mountain evolves, it will become a Dao-level divine mountain. Dao immortals will be able to enter. Me and Bai Zhe are 9th stage Dao immortals. If Dao immortals break through the formation, you don't need to worry. He Shu said. With us here, they won't be able to take away even a single leaf. Bai Zhe said. To them, this divine inscription mountain is very peculiar, it can allow them to quickly evolve. At this stage, divine fruits are not very useful to them, but later on it will be different. If the mountain god can continue devouring large amount of divine mountains and evolve to golden immortal level divine mountain, it will be able to condense golden immortal level divine fruit. At that time, He Shu and Bai Zhe will be able to quickly break through. The entire Earth province knows about this peculiar divine mountain. They all know that there is a divine mountain that is running around and devouring many divine mountains. Then it evolved and produced a mountain full of divine fruit. The divine inscription mountain is shrouded in a thin layer of golden mist. Those with good eyesight can see that the trees inside the mist have many bright red fruit. These are all divine fruits. Those major powers are the most well-informed. They immediately sent people to the divine mountain to investigate the situation. Shimen Dazhuang is carrying a small pig and walking inside a large tent. Around the divine inscription mountain, there are many people setting up tents, waiting for the next step of the divine mountain's transformation. The heavenly wind divine mountain has turned into this? I almost couldn't recognize it. Shimen Dazhuang looked at the 10,000 feet tall mountain in front of him and is secretly astonished. Now the divine mountain has turned into a pagoda-shaped mountain. From afar, it looks like an incomparably huge golden pagoda standing tall on the ground. Pippi Pig said in low voice, That damn old mountain is really awesome, he produced many divine fruits, those divine fruits should be very delicious. Let's go up the mountain. Uncle might be up there. Shimen Dazhuang said. Uncle destroyed another sun altar, let's go and ask him about the specific process. Pippi Pig is also very curious. Alright. Shimen Dazhuang carried Pippi Pig and arrived at the foot of the divine mountain and walked towards the heaven stairway. There are many people at the foot of the heaven stairway. They are currently unable to go over because there is a very strong barrier separating them. Shimen Dazhuang and Pippi Pig both have special jade pendants that can pass through the mountain protecting great formation. Therefore, under many people's astonished and envious gazes, they climbed the heaven stairway. What's going on with that guy? Why did he go in just like that? Someone shouted in alarm. Let's quickly follow him. Many people scrambled to be the first to rush over, but in the end, they all heavily collided with the invisible barrier. During the process of the divine mountain's evolution, it released very intense sunlight. Especially at night, it can illuminate a large area of the surroundings. Complete evolution requires a period of time. And during this period of time, many people rushed over after hearing the news. They all want to attack the divine mountain and plunder its divine fruits. Shimin Dezhuang very quickly arrived at the top of the mountain. After arriving at the top of the mountain, Pippi Pig saw He Shu and Bai Zhe and immediately let out a pig-like squeal. It wanted to struggle free from Shimin Dezhuang's embrace. Pippi Pig, don't be afraid, we are on the same side, Qin Yun said with smile. Pippi Pig is shivering, Shimin Dezhuang also doesn't know what he is afraid of. Really? Pippi Pig said in fear. Little pig, don't be afraid of us, Bai Zhe said with smile. This little pig is very awesome, He Shu said. Pippi Pig is now a lot more relaxed, but he is still afraid. After all, those are formidable heavenly rune beasts and sun rune beasts. Uncle, where is that damn mountain? Shimin Dezhuang said with smile. I came at the right time, I can eat divine fruits very soon. Ha ha ha. Dezhuang, what is the situation outside? Lu Jian asked. Many people are rushing over, who told this mountain to bear several thousand divine fruits. Everyone wants to fish one, Shimin Dezhuang said with disdain. Those trash definitely can't break our Shimin family's mountain-protecting great formation. Just as he finished speaking, the divine mountain shook a bit. A very strong power is attacking the mountain. Mountain God suddenly drilled his head out of the large rock and yelled, "We must defend, don't let them mess around on the mountain, otherwise it will affect my evolution." Who is attacking the mountain? Let's go down and take a look, Qin Yun said with frown. Chapter 1497. Leaving the mountain. The great mountain protecting formation was set up by Shimin family. Although it is very powerful, the people attacking the formation are very fierce and powerful. Qin Yun and the others are worried that the formation will be breached. After all, the formation has not been tested yet. Uncle, our Shimin family's formation is very stable, you don't need to worry, Shimin Dezhuang very confidently said with smile. Let's quickly go down and see what kind of bastards are acting so arrogantly. Xiao Yueme said, Dezhuang, I heard your Pippi Pig is very awesome, can you let us broaden our horizons when the time comes? No problem, Shimin Dezhuang said with mischievous smile while holding Pippi Pig. Dezhuang, don't be too hasty to attack later. If the other side has very strong immortals, your attack won't have any effect and will instead make the battlefield very chaotic, Qin Yun said. I know. Shimin Dezhuang actually doesn't want to attack because if he let Pippi Pig attack, his existence would be exposed. One must know that he used Pippi Pig to attack many people before, creating a lot of hatred. Many people in Earth Province know that this young Master Shimin has a fart pig that gives people headache. If we need to attack, we will go out first, Bai Zhe said. Attack according to the situation. If the other side has very strong golden immortals, you better be careful, Qin Yun said. Blackrat Bai's cultivation level is at the 9th firmament Dao immortal realm. This made Qin Yun very surprised. This level of inscription beast is an invincible existence in the earth immortal sacred land, Scarlet Slaughter Swamp. It is no wonder that Scarlet Slaughter Sacred City was so wary of them. Qin Yun secretly rejoiced. If Blackrat Bai's attacked back then, the sun altar he painstakingly attacked would have been taken away by Blackrat Bai's. Fortunately Blackrat Bai's is a very gentle inscription beast, otherwise Qin Yun would have to give up the sun altar. If the other side is only a weak golden immortal, there won't be any problem, Blackrat said with smile. Powerful golden immortals are attacking higher cultivation, most of them are either in Heaven Province or in seclusion. Only a few powerful golden immortals are roaming around. Even if there are golden immortals outside, their cultivation will be very low. As they walked down the mountain, tremors continued unceasingly. The barrier formed by the great mountain protecting formation was very strong. Even after being continuously bombarded by the powerful immortal power, it was still very stable and showed no signs of being broken. After a while, Qin Yun and company arrived at the foot of the mountain. They stood on the heaven stairway and looked at the group of people outside the barrier. Finally, someone appeared. This made the onlookers very surprised. "Who are you people? Why are you attacking my divine mountain?" shouted Qin Yun coldly. "Your divine mountain? What gives you the right to say that this is your divine mountain?" A white-robed handsome youth furiously rebuked Qin Yun. "This divine mountain belongs to us immortals, now it has been seized by you, quickly get the hell out." Xiao Yueme lightly groaned and said, "It's actually the immortals, these idiots." There were tens of thousands of people watching from afar. Most of them had just arrived. Originally, there were a few other powerful powers that wanted to attack, but when they saw that there were immortals here, they gave up on attacking. "I've obtained this divine mountain a long time ago, and I've even constructed a mountain-protecting formation." "When did your immortals obtain this divine mountain?" asked Qin Yun. At this moment, Blackrat Baizhe is also probing the strength of those people outside. There are only a few dozen immortals, most of them are Earth immortals. There are not many 9th stage Earth immortals, only 10 or so. And there are only a few Dao immortals. Additionally, there are 2 old men with very strong immortal power aura. Just now, they were the ones who attacked the mountain-protecting formation. Those 2 old men should be golden immortals. Ha ha ha! That immortal youth laughed heartily, the other immortals also roared with laughter. The onlookers from afar are all shaking their heads and laughing. Qin Yun and company don't know what these people are laughing about. At this time, an old man said with sneer, "You bunch of ignorant bastards, this region is under our immortals' control. Since the divine mountain appeared here, it naturally belongs to our immortals. Don't tell me you don't know Earth Province's 3 overlords? They have an extremely strong 9th stage golden immortal who dominates Earth Province. This young master is the eldest son of one of the 3 overlords, Xian Huangming." Someone said. "Who made the rule that this is your immortals' territory?" Qin Yun asked again. "No one made the rule, we made the rule with our fists. This plain is called Bayan Plain, it is occupied by my father Xian Bayan. If anyone doesn't accept it, my father will beat them until they do." Xian Huangming arrogantly laughed and said, "Your divine mountain has trespassed into my Bayan Plain, this divine mountain is ours." Qin Yun chuckled and said, "In that case, if we don't accept it, we can only use our fists to reason with you, right?" The dozens of immortals immediately roared with laughter. "In Earth Province, my father is one of the 3 overlords. If those powerful immortals of Heaven Province don't come, who can compare to him?" Xian Huangming laughed loudly and said, "If you guys are tactful, then quickly remove the formation and come out to admit your wrongs. Otherwise, once we break the formation and enter, we will make you suffer a fate worse than death." At this time, the onlookers also shouted loudly, demanding Qin Yun and company to hand over the divine mountain. "Hurry up and scram out, give the divine mountain to young Master Xian. That's right, you guys have occupied so many immortal fruits from the divine mountain, what right do you have? Quickly scram from this divine mountain, this is immortal family's divine mountain." These guys are truly reckless, they must be ignorant youngsters from some small faction. Xiao Yueme is very angry, she stamped her foot, wishing that she could immediately kill her way out. Qin Yun said, "What if we let the divine mountain leave this place? Then the divine mountain will not belong to you, we will leave very soon." "Bullshit. Once the divine mountain enters, no matter where it goes, it will belong to our immortal family." Xian Huangming furiously said, "Don't even think about letting the divine mountain run away, this is our immortal family's divine mountain." Qin Yun chuckled and said, "Truth be told, this divine mountain was originally called Heavenly Wind Divine Mountain, now it has been renamed Inscription Divine Mountain, it belongs to me, Qin Yun. If you have the guts, then attack." The immortal family people are immediately stunned. When the group of people who were watching from afar heard the two words Qin Yun, they were like a flock of frightened birds. They made all sorts of noises and quickly flew away in all directions. These days, other than the fact that the divine mountain can run and bear divine fruits all over the mountain, there is another matter that everyone is talking about. It is the fact that Qin Yun attacked the Scarlet Slaughter holy city. The sun altar was destroyed by Qin Yun. The battle at that time was very intense. Nearly all the disciples of the various families inside the Scarlet Slaughter holy city were killed. Therefore, Long family, Immortal family, Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate, Heavenly Tiger Star, Qi family and many other factions all declared that they will join hands to deal with Qin Yun. And this Qin Yun is actually the master of this divine mountain full of divine fruits. Qin Yun? You are just a 9th stage Earth Immortal. We have 2 golden immortals here, we don't need to be afraid of you. Moreover, we also have several formidable Tao immortals. After Xian Huangming recovered from his shock, he laughed loudly and said, Qin Yun, you son of a turtle, if you have the guts, come out for me. Qin Yun's expression was gloomy. He did not wish to go out because it was clear that the other party was unable to break through the array. Ha ha! Qin Yun, whose name has shaken the immortal desolate, is here. Furthermore, I, Immortal Radiance, scolded him to the point that he doesn't even dare to fart. Xian Huangming laughed heartily and said, Everyone, quickly take a look at how cowardly this guy is. I scolded him but he doesn't dare to come out and hit me. Qin Yun's expression gradually turned cold. Blackrat Bai Zhe was also waiting for Qin Yun to give the order. As long as Qin Yun gave the order, they would immediately rush out. The immortals were constantly cursing Qin Yun. They could tell that Qin Yun's cultivation level was only at the 9th firmament Earth Immortal. He did not dare to fight against Tao Immortals and Golden Immortals. Xian Huangming laughed loudly and said, My father is one of the 3 overlords of the Earth Province. No one dares to provoke me in the Earth Province. Even Qin Yun, who destroyed 2 sun altars, is just a fart in front of me. Did anyone see that? This is the power of me, Xian Huangming. The others only dared to watch from afar. When they saw that Qin Yun did not speak, they also believed that Qin Yun did not dare to make a move. Attack! Qin Yun said solemnly. Blackrat Bai Zhe transformed into 2 black and white beams of light and suddenly flew out in a flash. The immortals are very alarmed because the 2 youngsters who suddenly rushed out have very dreadful strength. Especially the aura on their bodies, it is like the power of incomparably formidable fierce beasts. Sensing that Blackrat Bai Zhe's power is so dreadful, the 2 golden immortals and the few Tao immortals are extremely alarmed. It's an inscription beast, an old man shouted in alarm. Rumble! Blackrat Bai Zhe attacked a few moments later. It produced a series of explosive sounds and swirled up a large amount of dust. Several middle-aged Tao immortals from the Xian clan were instantly killed when they attacked the Blackrat Bai Zhe. Xian Huangming is a 1st firmament Tao immortal. The great battle that erupted in the blink of an eye and the kind of aura that surged out caused him to tremble in fear. Although Xian Huangming is very arrogant, he now knows that his opponent is not weak at all. He immediately flew away. The great battle erupted below, rumbling sounds unceasingly. A large area beside the divine mountain is filled with dust. It is as if a sandstorm has enveloped the area. Inside the area, there are all kinds of light rays exploding out, a gale is howling and wreaking havoc. Xian Huangming, whose heart is filled with fear, suddenly flew out of the sandstorm and into the sky. Running. Qin Yun suddenly appeared above Xian Huangming, the floating cloud staff in his hand fiercely smashed down. Xian Huangming promptly dodged, but his shoulder was ruthlessly smashed. His arm and shoulder exploded. Ah! Xian Huangming let out a blood-curdling scream and fell down from the attack. Qin Yun opened his hand and released a tree vine that tied up Xian Huangming. Didn't you say that I wouldn't dare to come out and hit you? I'm coming out now. Qin Yun vigorously pulled the tree vine and pulled Xian Huangming over. Xian Huangming is a Dao immortal and his equipment is also pretty good. Now he quickly broke free from the tree vine and flew away while shouting. Qin Yun used the light transformation sacred pupil to flash over and smash down on Xian Huangming, who is running away in panic. The floating cloud staff's fierce immortal power was instantly released and landed on Xian Huangming's body, causing a crisp explosion in the air. Xian Huangming's body was smashed into pieces by the staff. His body scattered in the air along with his tattered clothes. The Son of Earth State's overlord was killed in the air just like that. The divine mountain suddenly trembled and released even more intense light rays. More and more trees on the mountain quickly bloomed with multicolored flowers and then quickly bore fruit. Chapter 1498. 9-layer divine fruit. The trees on the divine mountain bear a large number of divine fruits. It means that the divine mountain is still evolving. Qin Yun looked at the divine mountain's transformation from the sky and is pleasantly surprised. Although eating the first divine fruit is only effective, seeing the mountain full of precious divine fruits, his mood is very carefree. After Xian Huangming was destroyed, the divine mountain blossomed and bore fruit. This is too much of a coincidence. Among the spectators, there are many formidable earth immortals. There are also dozens of Dao immortals, but they don't dare to attack Qin Yun. They are worried that the divine mountain has a very powerful Dao immortal hidden inside and will suddenly attack. Qin Yun quickly returned to the divine mountain to avoid becoming a target. He released a very large soul-sealing pearl to collect remnant souls. Just now, Blackrat Bays killed several Dao immortals. It is also a very good energy. Blackrat Bays is very strong. It can suppress those 2 golden immortals. Those 2 youngsters have such high cultivation. How can they enter the divine mountain? The heavenly wind divine mountain Qin Yun occupied before was only an earth immortal. Someone voiced out the doubt in his heart. That divine mountain can devour other divine mountains. It must have evolved into a higher-level divine mountain. When the divine mountain evolves, it bears a large number of divine fruits. I truly want to obtain one. An old man said. Wrong, the divine mountain has not completely evolved. Those divine fruits are not ripe yet. But those 2 formidable youngsters can enter the divine mountain. The person from before is still very doubtful. Then there is only one possibility. Those 2 youngsters are formidable inscription beasts, someone said. Actually, many people already suspected this because they sensed a very strong beast aura from Blackrat Bays' body. Inscription beasts that can transform into human form are either heavenly rune beasts or sun rune beasts. They are all very dreadful existences. This kind of saying quickly spread among the crowd. It caused people to be extremely apprehensive. Qin Yun entered the Scarlet Slaughter Swamp, destroyed the Sun Altar and even subdued 2 formidable inscription beasts. It should be. This guy is really too dreadful. If those 2 inscription beasts continue to grow, they will surely become very strong. I heard those inscription beasts can jump ranks and enter the divine mountain and sacred land. Doesn't that mean those divine mountains can be easily breached by them? Why do we need those 2 inscription beasts to take action? That moving divine mountain of theirs is already very powerful. The onlookers sighed repeatedly. Of the dozens of immortals who came, only the 2 strongest golden immortals were left. The rest were all killed. Looks like I don't have to do anything. Shimen Dezhuang chuckled. I don't need to do anything. Those fellows are so weak. So boring. Xiao Yuemei said with charming smile. With a series of explosions, the intense battle between the golden immortals was coming to an end. When the dust settled, the 2 golden immortals from the Xian clan were seen lying on the ground covered in wounds. One of the old men even had a large hole in his abdomen. Blackrat Bays' hair was only slightly messy. At this moment, they were tidying up their hair. 2 of the Xian family's golden immortals were captured. This is all fertilizer. Qin Yun ran out and extracted all the souls from the bodies of the 2 golden immortals, torturing them until they were in excruciating pain before they died. The people watching from the sky are filled with fear and trepidation. 2 golden immortals died just like that. What is even more dreadful is that after their corpses were thrown into the divine mountain, they sank into the ground and were devoured. Who else wants to attack my divine mountain? Feel free to come. Qin Yun looked at the group of people in the sky and shouted. Those people are worried that they will become Qin Yun's target, so they immediately scattered. After Qin Yun and the others returned to the divine mountain, Xiao Yuanmei bounced up and down the heaven stairway and said with charming smile, "More divine fruits, more divine fruits. If it continues to grow, maybe it will bear sacred infant fruit." Bai Zhe said with smile, "Me and Brother Shu leaving the Scarlet Slaughter Swamp was the right choice. If this mountain continues to evolve, the divine fruits it bears will be very beneficial to us." Qin Yun said with smile, "Those divine fruits might not taste good to us humans." Qin Yun also paid attention to Black Rat Baize's battle. They did not use any inscription ability during the battle, they only used their powerful body and immortal power to defeat the 2 golden immortals. Black Rat Baize's true power must be even more dreadful. They quickly returned to the top of the mountain. There is a very spacious platform at the top of the mountain. There are many trees growing on the platform, many divine fruits of various colors and many grapes. These grapes are so big, I want to use them to make grape juice. Xiao Yuanmei looked at the bright red grapes, swallowed her saliva and said with mischievous smile, Old Shan, you are so awesome." Shimen Dezhuang said with smile, "After devouring so many divine mountains, we gathered all the energy of those divine mountains. That's why we can grow so many kinds of divine fruits." Black Rat said with smile, "These divine fruits will mature very soon." Qin Yun said, "If it is a divine fruit of the same grade, it will only be effective if you eat one, right?" Bai Zhe shook his head and said, "Not necessarily. If it is a high-grade divine fruit, generally speaking, the first one will have the best effect. The second and third will also be effective, the later ones won't have much effect." Old Shan suddenly drilled out of the large rock at the top of the mountain. That big rock was like his throne, and he liked to sit on that big rock. "Old Shan, when will you completely evolve? I really want to eat divine fruits," Xiao Yuanmei hastily asked. "Soon," Mountain God said with smile. "I have transformed this mountain into a pagoda. It has a total of 9 floors. The divine fruits on the first level ripen the fastest and will ripen in a few more days. The divine fruits on the higher levels will ripen slower. As for the 9th level, the divine fruits here will be the last to ripen." Xiao Yuanmei looked at the bunch of grapes, puffed up her cheeks and said with creased eyebrows, "So it will take a long time for those grapes to mature?" "Not long. After the divine mountain evolves, it will be divided into 9 stages. It is equivalent to Tao Immortal Realm from 1st to 9th layer. If I devour enough divine mountains, my evolution speed will become even faster and the divine fruits will mature even faster. After eating the first floor's divine fruits, you will become a Tao Immortal. Wait until they mature, you can go down and eat them," Mountain God said. "Old Shan, will plucking the divine fruits have any effect on you?" Qin Yun asked. Mountain God waved his hand and said with carefree smile, "What effect? These divine fruits are released by the divine mountain when it evolves. The divine mountain has a special 9 sun power. It is mainly used to nurture these divine fruits, so that the living beings on the earth can eat them and become stronger. Divine mountains don't know how to cultivate, but now that I have fused with them, they can cultivate just like humans. Their evolution speed will become very fast. My path of invincibility is right. Divine Mountain devours a large number of divine mountains and quickly becomes an immortal emperor-level divine mountain. That is equivalent to an immortal emperor-level divine mountain." Old Shan, can you move now? Lu Jian asked. Those immortal people are so arrogant, they say this is their territory, then we will go and flatten their divine mountains. We are the overlords of this place, they are just trash, they don't have any skill yet, they are so rude and unreasonable all day long. Let's flatten their divine mountains. Xiao Yueme yelled. The heavenly tiger star has caused all the divine mountains in Earth Province to be devoured by mountain gods. Immortal and Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate control many divine mountains, they have now become their target. Let's wait for a few more days, I am now at the crucial point of evolution. Now I have obtained a great amount of energy, I need to refine that energy to break through. Just like your cultivation. Mountain God said, I won't talk to you anymore, I will go into seclusion first. Finished speaking, he drilled into the large stone. Brother, I want to walk around, I want to take a look at the divine fruits here. Xiao Yueme is very happy, she is walking on the stone stairs, she wants to see the divine fruits one by one. In a few days, the divine fruits of first floor of Divine Mountain will mature, at that time they will know how they taste. Xiao Yueme, this little gluttonous cat, can't help but drool, she wants to pluck them and eat them. Heishu, Baizhe, Shimandazhuang and Lu Jian are now sitting together on top of the mountain. Shimandazhuang and Lu Jian are talking about all kind of strange and interesting things. Because Shimandazhuang comes from an inscription family, moreover it is a very strange Shiman family, Heishu and Baizhe can also hear many secrets about the inscription family. Qin Yun is strolling at the foot of Divine Mountain. The matter of Xian Huangming being killed will surely reach the Xian family very soon. Next, it is very likely that several great factions will join hands to attack this Divine Mountain. Qin Yun arrived at the foot of the Divine Mountain and checked the formation pillars. He wants to ensure that there is no problem with the mountain protecting Great Formation. At night, Qin Yun circled around the pagoda-shaped Divine Mountain and checked all the formation pillars. Just as he was about to reach the top of the mountain, he suddenly saw a white-haired, cold and elegant woman. She is wearing a white skirt and fluttering down the mountain. This white-haired woman looks exactly the same as Xian Rujing. She is precisely the Snow Woman Immortal summoned by Xian Rujing. Ice Mother Tigress is nearby? Qin Yun said in his heart. That Snow Woman Immortal also saw him. Xian Rujing released the Snow Woman Immortal to circle around the mountain to attract Qin Yun's attention. She did not expect to see Qin Yun at the foot of the mountain. Qin Yun quietly left the mountain and followed the Snow Woman Immortal. Very soon he saw Xian Rujing. Take out your floating cloud pagoda, let's talk inside. Xian Rujing is wearing a mask, she anxiously said after seeing Qin Yun. Xian Rujing is now an immortal emperor, for her to appear here, she must have something important to tell him. After Qin Yun took out the floating cloud pagoda, he brought Xian Rujing inside and arrived at the 20th floor. Xian Rujing took off her mask. Although her beautiful jade-like face is ice-cold and gorgeous, her watery eyes are flickering with traces of gentleness. Goddess Rujing, why did you come here by yourself? Qin Yun said with smile. Xian Rujing looked at the small altar and realized that it is the star god altar. Kiru asked me to bring you a message. Xian Rujing said. She said that the floating cloud heavenly seal is related to the immortal graveyard. She wants you to quickly find the floating cloud heavenly seal and then go to the immortal graveyard. I will go look for it as soon as possible. The smile on Qin Yun's face disappeared and he nodded. Chapter 1499. The might of a goddess, the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range, was currently in a special space that was occupied by the Xieyang race. It was filled with all sorts of dangers. If he went back, he didn't know how he would be able to return. Since Xie wants Qin Yun to quickly find the floating cloud heavenly seal, it means that there is a way to go to the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. Sister Rujing, congratulations on becoming immortal emperor so fast. Qin Yun said with smile. This is all thanks to you. A gentle smile suddenly appeared on Xian Rujing's ice-cold jade-like face. Little brother Xiao Yun, I must properly thank you. You're welcome. Qin Yun said with a smile. Has your sun-suppressing divine arrow also become very weak? Xian Rujing nodded her head. The sun-suppressing divine arrow needs the power of Sun Core to unleash its full power. Now, the heart of the sun has been completely cut off from our sun-suppressing divine arrow. This means that we can only rely on ourselves to cultivate the heart of the sun. Cultivate the heart of the sun? Have you begun cultivating now? Asked Qin Yun. Back then, the spirit of the divine arrow had said that it was possible to cultivate the core of the sun through the sun totem of the sun-suppressing divine arrow, but it would take a long time. It's starting. It's a little difficult. Xian Rujing lightly smiled and said, however, once you cultivate it, not only you will obtain formidable power, it will also make the sun-suppressing divine arrow even stronger. Oh, that's right, Sister Rujing. Did Shueru ask you to bring me any news? Qin Yun asked. No. Shueru was now a Dao immortal. Moreover, she has obtained the approval of 2 holy nascent fruits and can absorb a great amount of energy from them. Xian Rujing said. He told Nangong Shueru to plant that mysterious seed. If there is any movement, Nangong Shueru will definitely ask Xian Rujing to inform him. The cultivation of your Guang Han Palace's girls is really fast. Qin Yun said. It's all thanks to the Moon God Mountain. There are many holy infant fruits on the Moon God Mountain, and there are many talented girls in Guang Han Palace. After they obtain the approval of the holy infant fruits, they can use a joint cultivation technique, and everyone can cultivate together. Xian Rujing said. You can do that? Guang Han Palace is truly a holy land for cultivation. Qin Yun said with a smile. Your current divine mountain is also pretty good, it has so many divine fruit. Xian Rujing is standing beside the window, she can see those divine fruits flickering with radiance on the divine mountain. Qin Yun said, Sister Rujing, I dismantled a sun altar, moreover it is still intact. I plan to give it to your Guang Han Palace, and let you transform it into a star god altar. That is possible, Xian Rujing said with smile. You bastard, have you been charmed by star gods? Why are you so concerned about her? No way. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, By the way, I promised you that if you help me get the sun-suppressing divine arrow, I'll let you touch my thighs. Xian Rujing took off her outer robe and sat on a chair, revealing her long and slender white legs. What's there to touch? Qin Yun chuckled and said, You promised to give me the snow goddess totem. When will you give it to me? Little brother Yun, I will give it to you sooner or later. Take it easy, okay? I am not ready to give it to you yet. Xian Rujing said with slight anger. Come here, I will let you touch my thighs. No need, there is nothing to touch. Qin Yun waved his hand and said. I will let you touch, you will touch, you are not allowed to refuse. Xian Rujing lightly groaned, then waved her hand and released a very strong immortal emperor power that wrapped around Qin Yun. Qin Yun is secretly startled. He really cannot understand what is going on with this ice mother tigress, she is actually forcing him to touch her thighs. Sister Rujing. After Qin Yun was wrapped up by the immortal power, Xian Rujing promptly got up and pushed Qin Yun to a chair. After Qin Yun sat down, he forced a smile and said, Sister Rujing, I am an honest man, men and women should not touch each other. Besides, I never thought of touching your thighs. Xian Rujing doesn't care, she ripped off her lower body's white muslin long skirt, only wearing shorts, then sat on Qin Yun's thighs and spread her snow-white slender jade legs horizontally. Quickly touch, I let you touch for half an hour, you must touch for half an hour. Xian Rujing spoke, then vigorously pinched Qin Yun's waist and pouted coquettishly. Quickly touch. There is nothing to touch. Qin Yun looked at those jade legs and said with sigh, Goddess Rujing, why are you doing this? If you want to repay me, you can use other methods, why must you sell your body? I promised you, I will surely do it. Xian Rujing lightly groaned and said, Is that so? I remember that back then you made a bet with me, you said that if you lost, you would marry me. Qin Yun touched his nose and said with smile, At that time I had not awakened Snow Goddess's memories, so it did not count. Xian Rujing is sitting on Qin Yun's thigh, she anxiously shook her jade-like legs and scolded, You bastard, quickly touch! Qin Yun doesn't know what kind of divine fruit this ice mother tigress ate, she is actually so generous, this. Sister Rujing, I am an honest person, I can't do it. Qin Yun said in a very embarrassed manner. Honest person still used dragon claw hand on me? You even used it so many times? Xian Rujing rolled her eyes and pinched Qin Yun's chest. Ayo! Qin Yun let out a cry after being pinched. If you don't touch, I will bite you. Xian Rujing's jade hand is still on Qin Yun's chest, she is laughing mischievously, it seems like she is ready to bite. Qin Yun wants to run away, but this Xian Rujing is an immortal emperor, he cannot run away. Sister Rujing, Sister Star God's altar is over there, moreover she can appear. I saw her before, she looks exactly the same as Xiao Tian. Qin Yun said again, If she sees me touching your thigh, she will laugh at you. Sister Star God, sister. Xian Rujing lightly shouted a few times, then said with smile, Do you see, she is not reacting. She has been fleeing for a while, she will not come out. Moreover, if she comes out, it will be even better, I want her to see you touching my thigh. This. If she sees, it won't be too good, right? Qin Yun said with frown. Didn't you tell her before that you forcefully kissed me? You told her? Xian Rujing's expression turned cold as she intently looked at Qin Yun. And Qin Yun immediately admitted to provoking Xian Rujing. Very good. Xian Rujing's ice-cold face suddenly became filled with a proud and charming smile. She is sitting on Qin Yun's thigh and swinging her jade feet. Qin Yun really wanted to slap himself. He wanted to see if he had fallen into a dream or something. This ice tigress had actually become so abnormal. Ling Yuner chuckled and said, Xiao Yun, this ice goddess saw that you are very concerned about Star God. She specially tore down a sun altar and turned it into a star god altar in Guanghan Palace, so she became jealous. What is there to be jealous about? Qin Yun is very depressed in his heart. Xian Rujing grabbed Qin Yun's hand and placed it on her thigh, letting Qin Yun touch it back and forth. Qin Yun immediately felt a very smooth and warm feeling. That pair of jade-like beautiful thigh is indeed very good to touch. Moreover, it is not cold at all, it is like a piece of snow-white warm beautiful jade. Good to touch? Xian Rujing said with smile. Not bad. Qin Yun nodded and said, That's right. Xian Rujing lightly groaned and said, You bastard, just now you used all sorts of excuses. Xian Rujing's body is also releasing a cold and serene body fragrance. She is now sitting on Qin Yun's thigh. Moreover, she is slightly leaning on Qin Yun's body. The two of them appear very intimate. Goddess Rujing, I did not expect that normally you would be so ice-cold, but now you are so fragrant and warm. Qin Yun placed his hand on Xian Rujing's soft jade-like waist and hugged her a bit tighter. His other hand is lightly caressing her jade-like thigh. Suddenly there is movement from the 17th layer altar. Star God's alluring and beautiful figure appeared. Seeing this charming and enchanting beauty, Qin Yun immediately became flustered. He wanted to throw Xian Rujing away but discovered that Xian Rujing is hugging him very tightly. Earlier Qin Yun did not believe that Xian Rujing is jealous and deliberately acted in front of Star God, but now he is completely convinced. Xian Rujing is indeed deliberately being intimate with him to provoke Star God. Chapter 1500. Moon God's Mystery. Star God noticed something and said in urgent voice, "Little sister, do you know Moon God's whereabouts? I remember when you were in Divine Desolate, you were always looking for Moon God." Moon God and Sun God are the same, they both mysteriously disappeared. Back then I wanted to obtain Moon God's divine position, so I looked for her everywhere. Xian Rujing leaned on the wall, lowered her head to look at her slender jade legs and faintly sighed. Later I really found her. But she was not in Divine Desolate, moreover she entrusted me to investigate some matters. Why didn't you tell me? Star God's charming jade face is filled with shock. Little sister Bingxue, were you killed because you helped Moon God investigate some matters? You had no choice but to be reborn? But aren't you implicated because of me? Xian Rujing sighed again, then squatted down, hugged her knees and nodded. I wasn't implicated because of you. I didn't look for you because I was worried that I would harm you. You are a demon, you have already caused many troubles. I don't want to trouble you anymore. Where is Moon God? Star God asked. Xian Rujing looked at Qin Yun and said, Xiao Yun, can you guess who Moon God is? Qin Yun's brows are tightly creased. He is thinking who it is. It's Sister Kiru. Ling Yuner suddenly said, Sister Kiru must be the reincarnation of Moon God. She has a very close relationship with Guang Han Palace. When Xian Rujing was still Ice Goddess, she contacted Sister Kiru. Qin Yun remembers that Xie Kiru's immortal devil sacred body art was passed down by Xian Rujing in Divine Desolate. Sister Kiru knows that I am the reincarnation of Sun God? That is why she said that the 9 Sun Divine Soul originally belonged to me? Qin Yun cannot help but touch his wrist. He has always found it strange that Xie Kiru gave him that precious divine tool, and even said that it originally belonged to him. Sister Kiru, Qin Yun said after pondering for a while. Xian Rujing nodded. It's her, she is Moon God. After she was reborn in Immortal Desolate, she grew up very well, but then she encountered a great unforeseen event, causing her to have no choice but to be reborn again. The Immortal Graveyard was in the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range, and the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range was targeted by the Xieyang race. This meant that there was something related to the Moon God in the Immortal Graveyard. All right, Star God, Snow Goddess, Sun God and Moon God are all connected. Qin Yun thought for a moment and said, and we don't seem to know each other. What a rare coincidence. The Star God said, the Sun God and the Moon God disappeared mysteriously in the Divine Wilderness. I suspect that both of you died together. Xian Rujing said, when I was investigating in Divine Desolate, I found some clues. There is a force that forbids the existence of the star, moon, and sun gods because if the 3 of them unite, they will become incomparably powerful. The previous star god also left very suddenly, and didn't leave anything behind. You have to know. The star god was originally the strongest, and after I took over the star god's divine position, I felt that I was greatly weakened, and lost a lot of inheritance. The star god snorted. Just what kind of power is causing trouble? I feel that it is evil sun race or 9 sun sects. Xian Rujing said, if my guess is not wrong, Xiao Yun used to be the sect master of a 9 sun sect, the same 9 sun sect that was exterminated back then. Qin Yun nodded his head. When we were in 9 Nether Realms floating Cloud City, there was a sun altar. It should be the sun altar of the exterminated 9 sun sect. Indeed. Xian Rujing said, it seems like you left behind many clues and opportunities for future generations. That floating cloud heavenly seal is certainly not an ordinary object. It must have come from Divine Desolate. Qin Yun said, my past life was a mortal king floating cloud. I might know about the matter of the sun god in my past life. I really did not expect that the sun and moon gods of Divine Desolate would actually die twice. The star god sighed and said again, maybe you two were a couple in Divine Desolate. Xian Rujing said with smile, it is very possible. Kiru is so good to you. Qin Yun recalled Xie Qiru's gentleness and sighed endlessly in his heart. Could it be that after gods die they reincarnate? Qin Yun asked. Of course. Look at me, I have been reborn in a very special way. Xian Rujing said. Gods who obtain god position cherish their life very much, they have secret methods to make their soul immortal. As long as their soul is not destroyed, the god position will not be obtained by others. Only when they die, the god position will descend again. What is the process of inheriting a god position? Qin Yun looked at the star god. Under normal circumstances, there are two ways to inherit a god position. The first is to appoint a successor. The previous star god appointed me as the successor. As long as he dies or voluntarily renounces the god position will pass through space and arrive in my hands. The star god said. Xian Rujing took out a soft cushion and sat down. She leaned her back against the wall and stretched out her jade-like legs. She continued the star god's words. The second method is when there is no appointed successor. After the god dies, the god position will descend into divine desolate. As long as you obtain the god position and fuse with it, you can become a true god. Qin Yun said. Don't people like evil gods pick up god position? The star god nodded and said, Indeed. God position picked up doesn't have any inheritance. Therefore, they are very weak, unless they can comprehend formidable divine techniques on their own. Many god positions in divine desolate are picked up, therefore they are very weak. Xian Rujing said. My god position is also picked up, however, I am one of the top-ranked ice and snow goddess. Qin Yun said. Then if I return to divine desolate, won't I be hunted down? If they don't know that you have sun god position, then you won't have any problem. But they will surely find out. So long as they kill you, the sun god position will descend again. At that time, a large number of experts will come to snatch it. The star god said. Xian Rujing said, Big sister, did you bring anything for Xiaoyun this time? I did, but I am worried that I won't be able to teleport over. The star god said. Xiaoyun, take out the top layer of the sun altar you just dismantled. Xian Rujing promptly stood up, patted Qin Yun's shoulder and said, We will go outside, make this altar 18 layers. Back when Qin Yun was in Great Desert Sacred City, he destroyed the top layer of the altar, therefore the star god altar only has 17 layers. Xian Rujing's current intention is to leave the complete 18 layers altar with Qin Yun. Their Guanghan Palace only needs 17 layers. Qin Yun and Xian Rujing brought the small star god altar outside. Then Qin Yun took out the top layer of the Scarlet Slaughter Sacred City. The stars in the sky began moving, releasing power to continue transforming the altar. Very soon, a silver-white 18 layers small altar appeared. It has also been completely transformed. Qin Yun placed the remaining 17 layers into a storage magic tool with a very large space and handed it over to Xian Rujing. He told her to take it back to Guanghan Palace and let the star god transform it. Qin Yun and Xian Rujing returned to Floating Cloud Pagoda and took out the 18 layers small altar. Alright, when we transformed the altar, our location was exposed. Dao Yang Divine Sect and Heavenly Mountain Tyrant Sun's people are about to catch up. I will run first, I will transfer things next time. The star god used the stars in the sky to transform the altar. The movement was very big. See you next time. Xian Rujing lightly sighed and said, Big sister, be careful. I know. Little sister, you must quickly become stronger. Come find me in Divine Desolate. Star God smiled charmingly and said, Take good care of Xiaoyun, goodbye. After the star god disappeared, Xian Rujing said to Qin Yun with smile, Xiaoyun, do you still want to touch my thighs? You have already made big sister star god jealous. I don't need to touch them anymore. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, I will go back and talk to Kiru, see if she has time to come see you or not. I am worried that those two great emperors will know that she has been reborn, so I don't want her to wander around. When I have time, I will take a trip to Guanghan Palace. Don't let her wander around. Qin Yun hastily said, "Those two great emperors must have joined hands with Xieyang race." Xian Rujing stretched her legs and said, "I will go back now, you go look for floating cloud heavenly seal, be careful." Qin Yun escorted Xian Rujing out of floating cloud pagoda, and then patted her butt. Xian Rujing only bared her teeth at Qin Yun and then floated away, only leaving behind a clear and cold delicate fragrance. Ling Yuner lightly sighed and said, "What a pity! If she was not an immortal emperor, you would have succeeded tonight." Qin Yun hastily returned to Divine Mountain and found Xiao Yuemei. Xiao Yuemei is strolling around the fourth floor. She is actually counting the divine fruit. "Yuemei, I want to go look for floating cloud heavenly seal. Do you want to come with me or wait here for divine fruit?" Qin Yun asked. "Brother, I want to go with you." Xiao Yuemei pouted and said again, "But I also want to wait here for divine fruits." "You stay here and wait for divine fruits, then impart some runes to He Shu and Bai Zhe. Since they are our inscription gate's protectors, we cannot treat them unfairly." Qin Yun pinched Xiao Yuemei's adorable pouting face. "Brother, I also want to go with you." Xiao Yuemei hugged Qin Yun and mumbled, "If only I had a doppelganger. I have decided, I will start cultivating doppelganger technique. I must have a very strong doppelganger." Qin Yun cannot help but smile. "Yuemei, wait until there are enough divine fruits here. Take some to Guanghan Palace or send some to Nether Sect. Oh, that's right, tell Shuaru to come here and take a look when she has time." Xiao Yuemei nodded and said, "Brother, do you want to eat some divine fruits before leaving? I just plucked a few. I have a way to make them mature. I will leave tonight." Qin Yun said with smile. Rest assured, I will take care of this divine mountain." Xiao Yuemei nodded and said. Qin Yun kissed her forehead, rubbed her charming little face and then left the divine mountain. He is very anxious to find floating cloud heavenly seal. While flying in the sky, Qin Yun took out the compass used to find floating cloud heavenly seal. He said with frown, "Floating cloud heavenly seal's position has always been fixed. Didn't you say it could run away?" His past life left him a letter saying that floating cloud heavenly seal could run away. Chapter 1501 1501 Chapter 1501 Great Dragon Desolate Domain. Qin Yun looked at the pointer of the compass flying in the sky. The direction of the pointer has not changed. It means that the imprint's position is fixed. The second part of the floating cloud heavenly seal should be easy to find. The third part might be difficult. Ling Yuner said. The third part is in the heavenly province and it might run around everywhere. It is indeed very difficult. No matter how difficult it is, I must find it. Only then can I go to the immortal graveyard. Qin Yun sighed and said, "That place must be hiding many secrets." Ling Yuner said with smile, "Xiao Yun, you will definitely find the third part. Don't worry, you need to have strong cultivation to be able to do many things." And Qin Yun increased his speed and flew in the sky while holding the compass. If that divine mountain evolved into a Tao-level divine mountain, at most 9th stage Tao immortals would be able to enter. Moreover, they would have to break the barrier first. Even if there were many powerful 9th tier Tao immortals joining forces to break through the barrier, the Blackrat Bays on the mountain would still be able to finish them off. Therefore, Qin Yun left the divine mountain without worry and went to look for the floating cloud heavenly seal. A few days later, he arrived above a lake. "It's below?" Qin Yun looked at the randomly moving pointer on the compass. The lake is very big, the dark green lake water is very calm. It shouldn't be that simple, right? Qin Yun slowly landed. The lake gave him a strange feeling. He stood on the shore and looked at the calm lake water. He wanted to find someone to ask about the situation of the lake. Not long after, he saw a group of people walking over. They are all middle-aged or old men. They are all talking and laughing. When the dozen people saw that there were people on the shore, the smiles on their faces immediately disappeared. Friends, do you know anything about this lake? Qin Yun walked over with smile on his face and asked. This. Little brother, why are you suddenly interested in this lake? Isn't this kind of lake everywhere in the immortal desolate? An old man said. I passed by here and felt that this lake is a bit strange. It has a strange power. Qin Yun said. What kind of strange power? That old man asked in amazement and then looked at others. Others are also amazed. Qin Yun feels that these people must know about this lake. I sensed a very weak, spatial fluctuation coming from below. Qin Yun replied, this is indeed what he sensed. Little brother, your perception is really powerful. Your mental strength must be very strong. The old man smiled and said, Senior, is there an ancient teleportation array under this lake? Or some spatial Dharma treasure? Asked Qin Yun. None of them. There's a door down there that leads to a wasteland. A middle-aged man said, Since you have discovered it, this is your opportunity. You can enter that desolate domain. There's actually a desolate domain down there? Qin Yun is very surprised. The wasteland was an independent and mysterious small space. It was a very special existence. The wastelands were all very ancient, and some had even existed for many eras. In some desolate regions there were cultivation restrictions. A small spatial world like the desolate domain was relatively fragile. In order to prevent it from being destroyed, it would release a natural force to prevent people with powerful cultivation from entering. Qin Yun never expected the floating cloud heavenly seal to be hidden in a desolate domain. Is there anything special about that desolate domain? Qin Yun asked. It's hard to say. In short, it's better than the immortal desolate. The strongest inside are golden immortals, and there aren't many of them, because most golden immortals ran out. The old man said. Since it's like this, doesn't it mean that many people know about the existence of the desolate domain? Qin Yun said. That's not the case. People who come out from there usually don't talk about the things inside. They have contract restrictions, otherwise they can't go in anymore and their power will even leak out. Especially people who have cultivated inside for many years, if they talk about the things inside carelessly, their power will become weaker. The old man said. Qin Yun said with smile, Didn't you also say that? A middle-aged man laughed and said, Because we are different, we are in charge of finding disciples outside. Finding disciples? Qin Yun said with frown. Our sect is very lacking in outstanding disciples. An old man said with mischievous laugh, Little brother, your perception is very high, your mental power must be very strong. Come with us to the desolate domain. Qin Yun thought about it, then nodded and said, All right. Most of these people are earth immortals, only the old man is a Tao immortal. Qin Yun also doesn't know what the situation inside the desolate domain is. He feels that these people don't seem to have any evil intentions, moreover they are very weak, so he agreed to go with them. All right, then let's quickly go down. The old man took out a large black iron ship. After Qin Yun followed them into the cabin, the ship slowly dived down. The speed at which it dived down is very fast, but it still took a period of time to reach the bottom. We are about to enter the desolate domain. Everyone get ready, the old man shouted. Prepare? What preparation? Qin Yun asked anxiously. Little brother, our ship is very special. When we enter the desolate domain, it disintegrates once, the old man said with smile. Qin Yun cursed a few times in his heart. It is clear that this ship is too lousy, that is why it disintegrates when passing through the space channel. Following a very strong spatial fluctuation, Qin Yun also heard creak 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 sound. It is as if the ship is about to fall apart. Senior, isn't your ship too lousy? Qin Yun cannot help but ask. It's not lousy, it's very special. Our ship only disintegrates, it can still be reassembled, the old man said with smile. Let's begin. Crash. The ship suddenly disintegrated and a large amount of water rushed in. Qin Yun immediately released a barrier to protect himself from the invasion of the water. Then, he floated up. The exit of this mysterious desolate domain is also under a lake. When Qin Yun floated up, he saw the old man at the bottom of the lake, collecting the fragments of the ship. Qin Yun also admitted that the ship is indeed quite special. Although it has been disintegrated, the fragments are very big. After collecting them, they can be reassembled very quickly. After arriving at the shore, Qin Yun looked around and discovered that the lake here is very small, it is inside a small valley. What surprised him is that he can see 3 suns in this desolate domain. Apart from this, there is also a black celestial body that is bigger than the moon floating in the sky. What is that? Qin Yun immediately pointed at the black ball in the sky. The old man came out of the lake and saw Qin Yun pointing at the black ball. He shouted in fear, "Don't randomly point at that thing, your hand will go crooked." Qin Yun's hand was patted by the old man. "Senior, I came to this desolate domain, you should tell me about this place, right?" Qin Yun asked. "That thing is called Xieyang," a middle-aged man said in low voice. "It has been here for many years. Their main purpose for appearing here is to find one thing." The old man said in deep voice, "Xieyang race came here to find something, many battles broke out between them and the big powers here, luckily they were all suppressed." Qin Yun is incomparably shocked. The black ball in the sky is actually Xieyang. He also heard that Xieyang was created by a group of powerful gods. Now that it appeared in the sky of this desolate domain, it is very clear that it is very important to this place. Luckily, this desolate domain restricts cultivation, otherwise there would be even more powerful things here. "What are they looking for?" Qin Yun asked. He is not sure whether or not the Xieyang race is looking for the floating cloud heavenly seal. "What kind of head are they looking for?" The old man let out a long sigh and said, "We also don't know what that thing is," a middle-aged man said in low voice. "Of course we don't know, but the big powers here definitely know where that head is." Head? Qin Yun secretly relaxed. He thought that the Xieyang race came here to look for the floating cloud heavenly seal. The Xieyang race said that it is a golden head, moreover it is very big. The middle-aged man made a hand gesture. "It looks like it is even bigger than a normal human head." The old man said, "Let's not talk about it anymore, we should quickly bring this little brother into our sect." "Little brother, what is your name?" a middle-aged man asked. "A Yun," Qin Yun said. "A Yun, our sect is very powerful, it used to dominate this desolate domain for many years." The old man patted Qin Yun's shoulder and said with smile, "You can rest assured and join us." "What sect?" Qin Yun doesn't really want to join. He just wants to understand the situation here and then go look for the floating cloud heavenly seal. "Floating cloud sect," the old man said. Hearing this name, Qin Yun is secretly startled. He feels that it is very likely that he founded this sect in his past life. "Alright, quickly take me there." Qin Yun saw how shabby these people are and feels that floating cloud sect has most likely declined. Originally, he only wanted to join that sect for a period of time and then go look for the floating cloud heavenly seal. But now he feels that the floating cloud heavenly seal might be inside floating cloud sect. "Then let's quickly go," Qin Yun said. "We can't fly in this place, immortal desolate is much better, we can fly everywhere. We can only walk," the old man said. Qin Yun asked, "Seniors, did you go to immortal desolate this time to find me, your disciple?" "We don't like other people, little brother, you and Great Dragon Desolate Domain have a lot of opportunities, so we reluctantly accepted you," the old man said with mischievous smile. Qin Yun secretly despised these people. He can see that these people can't fool people to join them in Immortal Desolate. They just happened to meet him by the lake and tricked him to join. Great Dragon Desolate Domain? Why is it called that? Qin Yun asked. We also don't know. We just heard that there used to be a very powerful dragon here, called Great Dragon, so we named it that way. The old man brought Qin Yun out of the valley, pointed at a magnificent huge mountain in the distance and said, "That is the mountain where our floating cloud sect used to be. That is the first mountain of Great Dragon Desolate Domain." Used to be? What about now? Qin Yun said. Chapter 1502. Fuyun sect leader Qin Yun realized that floating cloud sect is not good at all. It once occupied the highest peak in the Flood Dragon Desolate Domain, but it left on the grounds of bad feng shui. Clearly, it was chased away by someone else. I think that mountain is very good, Qin Yun said. Water flows downwards, people walk towards higher places. Since you are the strongest, then you should go to the highest place. The old man said with a smile, "Little brother, even if that's the case, that highest peak is not a blessed land. After all, a tall tree attracts the wind. My floating cloud sect is a very low-key sect. In such a high place, it will attract a lot of trouble." Another middle-aged man continued, "Isn't that so? Now that the mountain is occupied by the Zhongshuan sect, the Xieyang race will go to find trouble with them every few days, but our floating cloud sect is different. We have many days ahead of us." The Xieyang race is causing trouble for the Zhongshuan sect? Qin Yun was a little worried that the Xieyang race would occupy the highest peak. In the past, the floating cloud gate was located on the highest peak. Perhaps the imprint body of the very important floating cloud heaven seal was hidden in that mountain. When Qin Yun thought of this, he suddenly had an ominous feeling. The Zhongshuan sect is one of the three great sects of the Flood Dragon Desolate region, and the strongest one at that. Who else would the Xieyang race target if not them? The old man walked on the mountain path and said with smile, "Luckily our floating cloud sect ran fast, otherwise we would have been targeted by the Xieyang race." The Zhongshuan sect is being controlled by the Xieyang race? Qin Yun grew even more worried. No, the Zhongshuan sect is still quite strong and very tough. Those Xieyang race fellows don't dare to act recklessly, or else the Zhongshuan sect will fight to the death with them. A middle-aged man said. Qin Yun secretly despised the current floating cloud sect. Unexpectedly it has not fallen to such a situation. Not to mention that their best territory has been forcibly occupied by others, they are actually proud of it. "Senior, where is Floating Cloud Gate? How far is it?" Qin Yun asked. "It's not far. We'll be there soon." The old man pointed ahead. Qin Yun only saw a forest in front of him. There were many ancient towering trees. At this moment, he felt that the Floating Cloud sect might not even have a decent territory. Not long after, Qin Yun followed the dozen or so people into the forest. In the middle of the forest, there was a small villa. There were more than 20 buildings of various sizes, and there wasn't even a single formation. Qin Yun arrived in front of a large wooden door and looked at the crooked words, "Floating Cloud Sect," written on it. He had the urge to vomit blood. This floating cloud sect was much worse than he had imagined. From the looks of it, it was not even as strong as a small sect in the Immortal Desolate. Just the scale of this villa can be found everywhere in the Immortal Desolate. A small tycoon can build this villa. This is Floating Cloud Sect. The old man shouted, "Everyone, I am back! Come out and welcome the new disciple." Suddenly, a large group of people walked out of those wooden houses. There were only 200 to 300 people in total, and all of them looked very weak. "Headmaster, you're finally back. Something big has happened." A middle-aged man walked over and said. Qin Yun is extremely shocked. That old man is actually the Floating Cloud Sect's sect master. The floating cloud sect master did not even have a decent ship. Moreover, he had to personally go out to recruit disciples, and he was unable to recruit even one. In the end, it was Qin Yun who delivered himself to their doorstep that allowed them to recruit a disciple. "Something big has happened?" the old man asked. "It's a battle that happens once in 1,000 years. Sangshuan sect's chief disciple wants to challenge headmaster," the middle-aged man said. "What? Challenge me?" The old man's face is filled with astonishment. Did 1,000 years pass so quickly? Qin Yun's horizons have been broadened. The floating cloud sect master is actually a Tao immortal. Moreover, he is being challenged by their chief disciple. Everyone was looking at the little old man. The middle-aged man suddenly handed over a red invitation card and said, "Headmaster, this is the invitation card. They are inviting you to fight at Sangshuan sect." The old man did not accept the invitation card because if he accepted it, he would have to fight. If he did not accept, he would be laughed at to death. "Headmaster, quickly accept it," the middle-aged man in the vicinity urged. "Headmaster, you are so strong, you must let them see how powerful you are." There are several old men here, they are sneering again and again. It seems like they are waiting to see the old man make a fool of himself. The old man stiffened. He knew that Sangshuan sect's chief disciple is very strong. If he accepted the invitation and lost, he would lose a lot of face. If he did not accept it, it meant he was afraid. If he accepted and did not go, he would be laughed at by others. The old man looked at the several old men in the crowd and calmly said, "Everyone, when I went out to recruit disciples, I encountered a powerful evil beast and was seriously injured. I am afraid I cannot accept the challenge. But my floating cloud sect has many heroes. Who is willing to accept this invitation card and go to Sangshuan sect?" A fat old man sneered and said, "Headmaster, he is challenging floating cloud sect's headmaster. As the headmaster, you must accept the challenge." "I am seriously injured, my bones are injured, I will most likely be crippled in the future. I am willing to pass the position of headmaster to you. Whoever is willing to accept the invitation card will be the headmaster," the old man loudly shouted. From his appearance, he does not look like he is injured at all. Qin Yun is so angry that he wants to laugh. He has never seen such a good-for-nothing headmaster. A chief disciple sent him a challenge card, yet he was so scared that he directly gave up the position of headmaster. Qin Yun thought about it and felt that it was normal, because Floating Cloud sect had not fallen to such a state. Being the headmaster of Floating Cloud sect is not good. He would also be ridiculed and beaten by a chief disciple. The disciples and elders of Floating Cloud sect are all silent at this time. How could they not see that the headmaster is afraid of death and afraid of being laughed at? That is why he is not willing to go. "Headmaster, I have a plan," a middle-aged man suddenly said. "What plan? Quickly say it," the old man urged. "How about this? We will have a farewell meal and then disband Floating Cloud sect," the middle-aged man said with a smile. Qin Yun thought that it was a brilliant plan, but after hearing it, he could not help but roll his eyes. "Scram! If Floating Cloud sect disbands, we will suffer retribution. When we joined Floating Cloud sect, we made a firm oath that we would never betray Floating Cloud sect and never disband it," the old man said. "Then we will not accept the invitation card, we will pretend that this matter never happened," the middle-aged man said again. No. If we don't accept, that mountain will be completely theirs. We must not lose that mountain, otherwise we will all be finished," the old man said very anxiously. Suddenly the old man looked at Qin Yun, his old eyes flickered. He said with a mischievous smile, Yun, when I first saw you, I knew that you are talented and have boundless future. You will surely be able to command the wind and clouds and dominate a region. As long as you are willing, the position of Floating Cloud sect's headmaster is yours." "Isn't this a bit too hasty?" Qin Yun feels that this is very funny. Not at all. This is a great opportunity for you. You just arrived here, and you can already become the headmaster of Floating Cloud Sect. This is a very rare opportunity. After the old man finished speaking, he looked at the group of disciples and said, "Look, none of them oppose you becoming the headmaster." Everyone nodded again and again. Qin Yun now understands that the headmaster of Floating Cloud Sect is mainly used to ward off all kinds of retribution. Don't worry, with your strength, it will be very easy for you to deal with the chief disciple of Zhongshuan sect. The old man said with smile. I also experienced the same thing back then. Back then, the chief disciple of Zhongshuan sect challenged me. We fought for thousands of rounds and finally, because I was careless and tripped, I was defeated. But I won the praise of the entire Great Dragon Desolate Domain. Qin Yun feels that this old man was also tricked by the previous headmaster. Now it is his turn to trick others. All right, I agree to become the headmaster. Qin Yun nodded and said, Very good. The old man laughed out loud. His face is rotten from laughing. He quickly pulled Qin Yun to the largest wooden building in front of them. Other people also cheered. A middle-aged man happily shouted, We have a new headmaster. New headmaster is invincible. New headmaster is invincible. New headmaster is invincible. New headmaster is invincible. Many people cheered as if a heavy burden has been lifted from their shoulders. Qin Yun very much wants to know how Floating Cloud Sect declined so much that they have this kind of mentality. The old man took Qin Yun into the wooden building and said with smile, You can call me Elder Guo from now on. Headmaster, take this. Qin Yun took a black token that was only the size of a palm. What is this? Qin Yun frowned. Floating Cloud Token, it is the headmaster's supreme divine weapon. It can save your life in a critical moment. Elder Guo said with a smile. As long as you voluntarily drip a drop of blood on it and infiltrate a wisp of your soul into it, you will be our Floating Cloud Sect's headmaster. After Qin Yun dripped a drop of blood, he put a wisp of his soul into it. Headmaster! Elder Guo saw Qin Yun take the Floating Cloud token and very happily shouted, Headmaster is invincible, Headmaster will never die. He pulled Qin Yun out and shouted, Headmaster is invincible, Headmaster will never die. Others also followed and shouted, Headmaster is invincible, Headmaster will never die. Qin Yun was speechless hearing this. Then, Elder Guo gave the invitation to Qin Yun and said with smile, Headmaster, I will leave the matter of going to Zhongshuan sect to you. We believe that you will be able to defeat the chief disciple. Qin Yun saw a few old men below. Their faces are filled with schadenfreude. They are all elders. Are we going now? Qin Yun asked. He didn't think it was a big deal. His face has been very calm. Yes. The 3 sects should be there. You should quickly go. After Elder Guo finished speaking, he waved to a thin bearded middle-aged man. Thin Cat, you take headmaster to Zhongshuan sect. Elder Guo said. This time, we will not go, we all have important things to do. The bearded middle-aged man contemptuously looked at Qin Yun and said, Elder, can he really do it? He seems to be an earth immortal. Will he be beaten to death? Thin Cat, how can you say that? Elder Guo scolded. Headmaster is invincible, how can he be beaten to death? Don't talk nonsense, quickly go with Headmaster. Let's go. Qin Yun said. I will go too. After all, I am the great elder, the person who will help the headmaster collect the corpse. There must be a senior. A tall and strong old man with a lame leg said with a gloomy face. He slowly walked out with a wooden staff. Old cripple, say a few good words, don't scare headmaster. Elder Guo laughed. It's okay, he will definitely come back. Others seemed to know what was going on, but they did not say it. They still very hypocritically praised Qin Yun. Chapter 1503. Below Floating Cloud Mountain. Great Elder, how did your leg get injured? Can't you cure it? Qin Yun suddenly asked. I don't want to cure it, it's good like this. Old Cripple said. Sect Master, you should worry about yourself. This trip bodes ill rather than well. Old Cripple and Thin Cat are walking very slowly. At this rate, it will take them several days to reach the Floating Cloud Heavenly Mountain. Thin Cat is very thin, he looks like a bag of bones. Coupled with the beard on his face, he indeed looks like a cat. It is not strange that he is called Thin Cat. Qin Yun sighed inwardly. One of his fellow disciples was a crippled old man and the other was a skinny middle-aged man. Old Cripple is a Tao immortal. He seems a bit more powerful than that trash sect master. Thin Cat is also a Tao immortal. No wonder he was sent to bring Qin Yun to Tsangshuan sect. Thin Cat said, Sect Master, we are only accompanying you this time, we are not responsible for fighting. I won't hide it from you, Floating Cloud sect is very weak. Forget about Tsangshuan sect's chief disciple, even a second-rate disciple can exterminate Floating Cloud sect. Isn't it just a fight? Qin Yun said. If we can't beat them, then we can't beat them. Don't tell me they will kill us? Old Cripple said. Sect Master, you don't know. Tsangshuan sect and our Floating Cloud sect have an agreement to fight every 1,000 years. Originally, it was a fight between sect masters, but because our sect master was too weak, their chief disciple came to challenge them. Don't tell me they will kill their chief disciple if they can't beat them? Qin Yun said with smile. It won't go that far, right? Old Cripple snorted. If the chief disciple is a man, it won't go that far. But the problem is that the chief disciple of Tsangshuan sect is a woman. And you are a man. The other party is a woman and they want to kill me? What kind of logic is this? Qin Yun asked. Because there is an agreement. As long as the other side sends a woman, if the woman loses, she will become your cultivation furnace. Thin Cat said with sneer. Sect Master, do you think that the other side's chief disciple will let you go? Cultivation cauldron is an evil cultivation technique that uses yin to nourish yang. It can suck a woman dry to quickly obtain formidable power. Qin Yun was taken aback as he said with a frown, Who made this agreement? Why did you make such an agreement? The previous Floating Cloud sect masters. He made this agreement because he wanted the female sect master of the Tsangshuan sect to become his cultivation cauldron. In the end, he lost our mountain peak. Old Cripple said angrily. At that time, the sect master was very young and arrogant, and the female sect master of the Tsangshuan sect was also very young. That's why they made such a bet. In order to humiliate us, the Tsangshuan sect would invite us to participate in their grand event every 1,000 years, and conveniently fight us. If we don't accept the challenge, they will destroy that mountain. Skinny Cat said, Headmaster, this is something you should know. Now you know that it's not easy to be the headmaster of Floating Cloud, right? If the Tsangshuan sect destroyed the Floating Cloud's heavenly mountain, the disciples of the Floating Clouds sect would suffer. Floating Cloud sect's disciples seemed to fear some kind of retribution power, so they had to fight every 1,000 years. Otherwise, if Floating Cloud Heavenly Mountain was destroyed, they would be killed by the retribution power. Qin Yun now understands the situation, but he doesn't think much about it. The pressure of defeating the chief disciple of the other side is not that big. If the other side's chief disciple is a kind-hearted girl, she won't kill you because as long as she defeats you, she won't become your cultivation cauldron. Of course, if she hates evil as if it's her enemy, it's not necessarily the case. Old Cripple said with smile. Qin Yun said, Don't worry, nothing will happen to me. He took out a compass used to probe the Floating Cloud heavenly seal and pointed it at the mountain peak. If I defeat the female chief disciple, I can take back control of the mountain peak, right? Qin Yun asked. He is now certain that the floating cloud heavenly seal is inside the mountain peak. Not only that, you can also make the female chief disciple your cultivation cauldron. Skinny Cat said with sneer, but that is just wishful thinking. Songchuan sect is very strong. Skinny Cat and Old Cripple are Tao immortals, they are very clear about this matter. And Qin Yun is just an earth immortal, he doesn't have any chance to win. Qin Yun looked at the blue mountain peak that soars into the clouds and suddenly has a very familiar feeling. He also can't say what kind of feeling it is. Very familiar. It seems like that mountain not only has the floating cloud heavenly seal's imprint body, there must be other important things inside. Qin Yun secretly clenched his fist. He must regain control of that mountain. He suddenly increased his speed and madly rushed forward. Old Cripple promptly yelled, "Sect Master, don't go so fast." Qin Yun stopped and asked, "Why? Isn't it better to go earlier?" "Slow down a bit. If we go too early and the battle hasn't even started, we will be laughed at by others." Skinny Cat hastily said, "Let's go slowly. We just arrived and the battle has just started, this is the best." Old Cripple said again, "Look at us, we can't go fast. I will go by myself, you don't need to follow me. I want to quickly go take a look at that mountain." Qin Yun said, "Sect Master, we really can't go fast. You must take us with you. If you go alone, you don't understand the rules there, you will cause trouble. Maybe before the battle even starts, you will be humiliated by them." Old Cripple limped over. "Sect Master, why are you so headstrong? I just told you the worst-case scenario, don't tell me you still don't understand?" Skinny Cat also ran over. Old Cripple sighed and said, "We are all pitiful people, we were tricked into joining Floating Cloud sect, but who would have thought that it would be a heavenly pit? We are all from Immortal Desolate, once we join Floating Cloud sect, we can't leave Great Dragon Desolate Domain." Skinny Cat also said, "Sect Master, you should listen to us. This will let you live for a few more days." Qin Yun looked at Old Cripple and Skinny Cat. He knows that it is not easy for them. He hesitated for a while and said, "You guys wait, I will make something." While speaking, he took out many beast bones and immortal iron, all of them are of poor quality. "Sect Master, what are you doing?" Old Cripple asked. Qin Yun did not speak. He took out the Heavenly Lion Dragon suppressing cauldron and burned the materials inside. Very soon, he refined 4 large wheels and a very large carriage. From start to finish, it took less than an hour. Old Cripple and Skinny Cat are endlessly amazed. They can see that this sect master knows a bit of tool refining technique. After Qin Yun finished, he smeared some golden paint on the outside of the carriage, making it look sparkling with golden light. "Alright, let's go up." Qin Yun opened the carriage's door, jumped up and said with smile, "We won't be tired if we go like this." Skinny Cat and Old Cripple promptly walked up, sat on the soft cushion inside, leaned against the iron wall of the carriage, and exclaimed in admiration again and again. Because they have been here for so many years, they have never seen such a good thing. "Sect Master, you are very awesome." Skinny Cat finished speaking and sighed again. "I hope you can pass this trial. If you pass smoothly, you will have 1,000 years of good days." Old Cripple said, "Sect Master, just do as I say, don't care about face. Go to the Songchuan sect's mountain peak, admit defeat and kneel down, that female chief disciple might not kill you." Qin Yun said with smile, "I have my own method, nothing will happen." In order to quickly reach the mountain, Qin Yun made this carriage. Originally, he wanted to leave behind Old Cripple and Skinny Cat but found out that their life is also bitter, so he decided to bring them along. Half a day later, the carriage arrived at the foot of the mountain. One cannot fly in the Great Dragon Desolate Domain. If they want to reach the mountain peak, they have to walk the long stone stairs. It is also very difficult to walk up. There is a door at the bottom of the stone stairs. 2 sturdy men wearing armor are standing there, their cultivation is only earth immortal. They saw a dazzling golden carriage, and thought that some big shot has arrived. They promptly walked over with smile on their faces. But when they saw the people who opened the door are Old Cripple and Skinny Cat, the smile on their faces suddenly disappeared. "How come it's you?" one man said with sneer. "Where did you get this carriage?" "Oh, that's right, where is that trash sect master of yours?" Qin Yun was the last to get off the carriage, then he stored the carriage. "I am the new Fuyun sect master," Qin Yun indifferently said. "Ha, so that trash sect master finally tricked someone else to take over, ha ha ha. And such a young person at that." The large man guarding the gate laughed heartily. "This guy is very confident. Could it be that he wants to defeat Senior Sister?" The other guard said in ridicule. "He wants Senior Sister to be his cultivation cauldron? This guy will die very miserably." Qin Yun did not say anything. He said to Old Cripple and Skinny Cat, "Let's go up." Just as he took 2 steps forward, a guard extended his hand and stopped him. "Go up? You still haven't paid the toll. This is our rule. Don't tell me that you, the new sect master, don't know about it?" the guard said with sneer. Qin Yun looked at Skinny Cat and Old Cripple. They nodded their heads. Old Cripple took out a black iron from his sleeve with great difficulty and said, "Two big brothers, this is for you. This is best quality, immortal iron. We don't want this kind of trash." The guard looked at Qin Yun and shouted, "You, hand over the carriage and the storage magic tool, otherwise don't even think about going up." Qin Yun frowned and said, "Is there such a rule to climb this mountain?" The guard laughed loudly and said, "Of course. Trash like you Fuyun sect don't have the qualification to go up. Who made the rule that we have to pay a toll to go up the mountain? Call out the person who set the rule. I want to ask him face to face." Qin Yun said in cold voice. "Ha ha ha!" The 2 guards burst into laughter. "Who set the rule? Of course it was set by your grandfather. If you don't give us the thing, don't even think about going up. If you force us, we will attack," one guard said and took out a sharp large saber. "It seems to be a very good immortal tool." Chapter 1504. Sect Master shows his might. They are very envious of these guards for having such good immortal tools because they don't have them. Qin Yun calmly said, "I don't want to fight with you and also don't want to injure you. I don't want to form enmity with your Tsangshuan sect. So I will give you a chance, don't bother me again." "Ha ha ha, you want to injure us with just you? You unlucky guy. You took over the position of Floating Cloud Sect Master but still act so recklessly." The guard is still laughing loudly. Old Cripple hastily walked over and firmly grabbed Qin Yun, pulling him back. Thin Cat walked towards the burly man and said, "Big brother, our sect master has just taken over the position and doesn't know the rules, please don't take offense. Make that guy hand over his carriage and storage tools, otherwise don't even think about going up the mountain." The guard coldly groaned and said, "Thin Cat knows that those things are very precious, so he didn't make Qin Yun hand them over." Old Cripple said, "Sect Master, let's not go up first, we will wait here. If the battle starts and they still don't see us, we will tell them the reason. It is these 2 guards who don't want us to go up." Thin Cat nodded and said, "That's right, Tsangshuan sect clearly invited us but they don't want us to go up. They want to force us to hand over our things, this is their fault." "Damn Thin Ghost, you say this is our fault? You are courting death." The burly man furiously shouted, quickly walked up and vigorously slashed at Thin Cat with his saber. Thin Cat looks very thin but his speed is very fast. He was able to dodge that thrilling saber strike. However, the other guard also attacked. He slapped at Thin Cat's face, sending him flying and landing in front of Qin Yun. Thin Cat is a Dao immortal but he doesn't dare to fight back because if he injures Tsangshuan sect's people, Floating Cloud sect will be implicated. Moreover, Thin Cat's body is very weak. It can be seen that his injuries are not light. Moreover, he hasn't recovered for many years, that's why he is so thin. Thin Cat's mouth is full of blood after being slapped. He crawled up from the ground with great difficulty. Qin Yun hastily helped him up. Thin Cat can also sense that Qin Yun's body is boiling with terrible anger. It is filled with a fierce and tyrannical aura. Qin Yun is suppressing the anger in his heart. He tried his best to restrain himself and sent power into the Skinny Cat's body to help him stabilize his injuries. Thin Cat sensed that Qin Yun's strength was not weak and was secretly alarmed. "You three bastards, why don't you just do as we say? Can't you just hand it over obediently?" the guard said angrily. Then, he charged over and brandished his broadsword at Skinny Cat. Die! The furious Qin Yun quickly extended 2 fingers and caught the falling saber. At the same time, he shot out a piercing mountain-splitting earth finger. There was a loud boom. The fierce and ferocious force pierced through one of the guard's eyes, piercing through his skull. Bang! Following that, Qin Yun struck out with the exploding heaven finger and shattered the head. Crack! The saber that was clamped between the 2 fingers also broke. Seeing this scene, Old Cripple and Skinny Cat were scared silly. Their new sect master had killed the guards of the Zhongshuan sect. The other guard's face was also filled with fear. He could tell that this new floating cloud sect master wasn't someone who could be easily bullied. You killed someone from my Zhongshuan sect. The guard shouted in horror. Just you wait. The guard hurriedly ran towards the stone stairs. Qin Yun shot 2 exploding heaven finger power at the guard's legs and broke them. After you go up, truthfully report the situation to the upper echelons of the Zhongshuan sect. Tell them to come down and meet me personally. Qin Yun said coldly, if they don't come down, I will guard here. As long as the Zhongshuan sect disciples come down, they must pay the toll. If they don't, I will beat them up. The guard screamed in pain and grabbed a long vine hanging down from the top of the mountain, letting it pull him up. Because they couldn't fly, going up and down was very time-consuming. Therefore, the Zhongshuan sect disciples had to rely on those mysterious long vines to get up and down the mountain. Old Cripple looked at Skinny Cat. Both of them didn't dare to speak at this moment. They didn't expect that the sect master, who only had the cultivation of a 9th-layer earth immortal, would have such a terrifying aura. Soon, 2 old men slid down while pulling the grass vines. They also brought the guard whose legs were broken. The 2 old men were Tao immortals. Old Cripple and Skinny Cat became very worried when they saw the 2 old men. Elders, this is our floating cloud sect's new sect master. Old Cripple promptly said. Is he the one who injured our guards and even killed one of them? The elder said in cold voice. It was me, it was also because they attacked first. Qin Yun said. Moreover, they also demanded toll from me. One of the old men looked at the legless guard and said in cold voice. Is this true? This, we were just joking with them. The guard said in panic. Elder, they are just a bunch of weak chickens. Besides, I only wanted to kill that skinny ghost. What does that damn skinny ghost count as? If I kill him, then I kill him. Just as he finished speaking, Qin Yun fiercely pointed with 2 fingers and shot out exploding heaven finger power that landed on the guard's body. Boom! An explosion shook the area and a large amount of sparks flew. The guard was killed. Qin Yun said in a cold voice. Elders of Zhongshuan sect, you heard it just now. He wanted to kill my floating cloud sect's disciple, so I killed him. Do you have any dissatisfaction? The 2 old men, Skinny Cat and Old Cripple, were all stunned. Because they could feel the arrogant momentum on Qin Yun's body. It was absolutely not an act. It was because he had enough confidence and strength that he could have this kind of intimidating aura. Can we go up the mountain now? Qin Yun said indifferently. I didn't want to incur enmity with you this time. But you also saw that your people were too arrogant. Let alone these two little things. Even if it was you, if you dared to say in front of me that you wanted to kill Floating Cloud Sect's disciple, I would also kill you. Are you really the new Floating Cloud Sect master? One of the elders reacted, and said in a cold voice, I will definitely inform the Tsangshuan sect master about you killing my guards and also all the disciples of Tsangshuan sect. Qin Yun took out the black floating cloud token and said, This is the floating cloud token, I am the floating cloud sect master. By the way, you better tell your Tsangshuan sect's disciples that whoever wants to kill my floating cloud sect's disciple should be prepared to be killed by me. Not only your disciples, even if your Tsangshuan sect master has such thoughts, I will also kill him. Don't be so arrogant, the elder said angrily. You are the arrogant ones. You invited me here but stopped me and demanded my belongings. What is the meaning of this? Qin Yun shouted coldly. You are just an earth immortal. How dare you be so arrogant in front of me? I am a Tao immortal, I am Elder Tsangshuan. The elder shouted angrily. If you want to die, don't talk so much nonsense. Just attack me and I will immediately send you on your way. Qin Yun took out the floating cloud rod. His calm eyes suddenly turned cold, emitting a fierce aura, causing the two old men's hearts to tremble. You can go up the mountain but you can't use our vines. Those vines were planted by our Tsangshuan sect. The elder admitted defeat. They can't attack the floating cloud sect master. This is what Tsangshuan sect master has warned them many times. The two Tsangshuan sect elders pulled the vines and suddenly went up, then all the vines were taken back. We will go up. Qin Yun looked at Old Cripple and Skinny Cat and asked, Can you walk? Old Cripple and Skinny Cat can now see that Qin Yun is not ordinary, especially his imposing manner. It is not something anyone can have. Otherwise, an Earth Immortal would not be able to scare away two Tao Immortal Elders. We can walk. We have walked this stairway before. Skinny Cat promptly nodded and said, Sect Master, if you become a Tao Immortal, maybe you can defeat their chief disciple. Old Cripple said, Let's go up and take a look first. Even if I can't defeat her, I won't be killed. Qin Yun laughed and said, I am not that weak. Now that he has arrived at the floating cloud heavenly mountain, even if he can't win, he can still explore the things hidden inside the mountain. The floating cloud heavenly mountain is very big. Even the top of the mountain can be built with many buildings. There is also a very spacious battle stage in the middle. Originally, those buildings and battle stage belonged to Floating Cloud Sect, but now they are all given to Tsangshuan Sect. After the two elders who were scared away by Qin Yun came up with vines, a large group of Tsangshuan Sect disciples surrounded them. Elder, where is the guard? A disciple asked. He was killed. The new Floating Cloud Sect master killed the guards right in front of me. That bastard. He is so arrogant because he is the Floating Cloud Sect master. He knows that we can't attack him. An elder said angrily. The other elder is also very angry. That guy is just temporarily arrogant, he will soon be taught a lesson. The Tsangshuan Sect disciples are in an uproar. The new Floating Cloud Sect master killed someone in front of two elders. This made them very angry. That bullshit sect master will be killed by senior sister very soon. Humph, they can only walk the stone stairway. It will take a long time for them to come up, right? Elder, you can't kill him, but you can beat him up. Didn't the guard say that he is an Earth Immortal? You two are Tao Immortals, why don't you beat him up? That's right. He killed two guards in front of you, and those two guards are also our disciples. Can't our Tsangshuan sect do something? What do you know? We invited them to fight, but we beat them up at the entrance. If this gets out, people will laugh at our Tsangshuan sect. An elder coldly snorted and said, Our Tsangshuan sect will defeat that sect master fair and square. A disciple shouted, The people of other sects are coming to participate in the grand meeting. At that time, we must let Senior Sister kill the floating cloud sect master on the battle stage. A middle-aged man laughed. Don't mention Senior Sister, even I can kill that trash sect master, ha ha ha. You can kill me? Qin Yun's voice suddenly sounded. He and the skinny cat old cripple slowly walked up the stone stairway. The two elders were shocked because they had already put away the hanging vines, but Qin Yun and the others still came up so quickly. Chapter 1505. On the Heavenly Mountain, how did you come up so fast? The elder asked in astonishment. Of course we walked up. Qin Yun looked at the middle-aged man who wanted to kill him and asked, You were the one who said you could kill me, right? Come here, if you can kill me, it's my loss. Although everyone was shocked by how Qin Yun and the other two came up, they felt disdain for Qin Yun's arrogance. They looked at Qin Yun with disdain. Sect Master Fuyun, you should know that this mountain belongs to our Tsangshuan sect. It no longer belongs to your Fuyun sect. Why are you being so arrogant in our territory? The elder coldly snorted. This brat is the weakest sect master in the history of Fuyun sect. It's understandable that he is young and frivolous. Does he think he can challenge our Tsangshuan sect just because he killed 2 weak guards? Truly arrogant and conceited. The middle-aged man walked out and said with sneer, Little demon, Senior Sister doesn't need to do anything, I can kill you with one hand. Do you dare to fight me here? Qin Yun walked over. The middle-aged man is a second-stage Dao immortal. His cultivation is higher than the 2 guards, but Qin Yun is not afraid of him. Little demon, you were tricked into becoming sect master, right? Do you really think that floating cloud sect master is so awesome? The hundreds of Tsangshuan sect disciples roared with laughter. Sect Master Fuyun is nothing in the eyes of our Tsangshuan sect disciples, yet you still dare to be so arrogant. Fuyun Heavenly Mountain has been renamed Tsangshuan Heavenly Mountain. It will forever be ours. We invited you to participate in the grand meeting to humiliate you. If you don't come, we will destroy this mountain and kill you bunch of idiots. That's why you come here with your tails between your legs every year, ha ha. New sect Master Fuyun, you came here to humiliate us and make us laugh. Do you really think you can defeat Senior Sister and make her your cultivation cauldron? It's already a bit insulting for Senior Sister to fight him. He still wants to get Senior Sister? He can't even dream about it. Thinking of Senior Sister exchanging pointers with this stupid sect master, we feel very distressed. The Tsangshuan sect disciples look down on Fuyun sect from the bottom of their hearts. After all, Fuyun sect has been declining for so many years. Tsangshuan sect occupied Fuyun Heavenly Mountain and humiliated their sect master. This made them extremely happy and even more arrogant. Qin Yun said indifferently, I came to take back Fuyun Heavenly Mountain. Also, even if I defeat your Senior Sister, I won't make her become my cultivation cauldron. Sect is an orthodox sect, we don't cultivate evil arts. Fuyun? Then you want to let Senior Sister marry you? The middle-aged man smiled awkwardly and said, Senior Sister is so beautiful, normal people would not let her be a cultivation cauldron. You bunch of narrow-minded fellows, don't take that Senior Sister too seriously. Qin Yun sighed lightly. In this great dragon desolate domain, the strongest is only a golden immortal. When I was in the immortal desolate, I saw many immortal king and immortal emperor women. The Tsangshuan sect disciples were stunned for a moment before bursting into laughter. Skinny Cat and Old Cripple behind Qin Yun are secretly astonished because they believe Qin Yun's words. Qin Yun came from immortal desolate, his knowledge is definitely different. This is ridiculous. Is this guy sick in the head? I have never seen this kind of guy. It seems like he is not arrogant but rather brainless. That middle-aged man pointed at Qin Yun and laughed loudly. I'm a 9th-tier Earth immortal and you're a 2nd-tier Dao immortal. Your cultivation is much higher than mine. Do you dare to exchange a punch with me? Qin Yun said. Didn't you stand up to kill me? Let's exchange a palm strike. If you can't kill me, then don't talk nonsense. Joke? If I, a second-layer Tao immortal, can't kill you after exchanging a palm strike with you, then wouldn't I be worse than a dog? The middle-aged man laughed and said, If I can't kill you, then from today onwards I will be a dog. Qin Yun sneered. His arm suddenly swelled up. He released the Nether Sun totem and poured it into his arm, then rushed forward. The middle-aged man stood on the spot. His palm also condensed very formidable Tao immortal power. He laughed loudly and said, Come, I will cripple you with one palm strike. When Qin Yun rushed over, he took slow steps. This is the life extinction 9-step. This kind of palm strike competition will give him enough time to use the life extinction 9-step. After 9 steps, Qin Yun's body inexplicably burst out with even more formidable immortal power. Along with the Nether Sun power, it ferociously rushed into his arm and became incomparably formidable through the Nether Sun totem. Qin Yun pushed his palm forward and unleashed the heaven-killing palm. Immediately, killing intent overflowed to the sky. Boundless killing intent enveloped the middle-aged man, causing him to feel incomparable fear. Boom! 2 palms collided and produced a burst of oppressive explosion sound. A violent gale surged out and blew the surrounding people into a complete mess. After calming down, everyone is dumbstruck. They looked at the place just now. The upper half of the middle-aged man's body has disappeared. It was destroyed by a single palm strike. As for Qin Yun, he stood there steadily. Overconfident guy, you dare to provoke a sect master, you are really courting death. Qin Yun clasped his hands behind his back, coldly looked at the disciples and proudly said, I am now just a 9th-layer Earth immortal. If I had the cultivation of a 9th-layer Tao immortal, it would be a piece of cake for me to wash the Zhongshuan sect with blood. The Zhongshuan sect disciples are incomparably furious. The Floating Cloud sect's sect master dared to kill people in their Zhongshuan sect in front of so many disciples. Of course, they can see that this new sect master is very imposing, not like the previous useless sect masters. But no matter how strong he is just an Earth immortal. They have many Tao immortals on their side, but now they are being provoked by an Earth immortal. Old Cripple and Thin Cat are scared silly because they can feel the monstrous killing intent of the Zhongshuan sect disciples. They are in the Zhongshuan sect's territory. The Zhongshuan sect disciples surrounding them are only a small portion, they are all the weaker ones. The truly powerful Zhongshuan sect disciples have not come out yet. Qin Yun took out the floating cloud rod and coldly shouted, What? You want to attack together? Come on, idiots of the Zhongshuan sect, come at me together. Qin Yun's heart is full of anger. The Zhongshuan sect invited him here. Not only did they not show any courtesy, but they also let the disciples ridicule the floating cloud sect. All of you leave. Don't be rude to the guest. A powerful voice came from a tall building in the distance. Yes, sect master. An elder said and then drove the group of disciples away. The Zhongshuan sect master said again, He is a guest. Not only did we not treat the guest well, but we also spoke ill of the guest. This is our fault. Sect master, he killed our disciple. A middle-aged man said unwillingly, Are we just going to let him go like this? His skill was inferior, yet he provoked a sect master. Who can he blame for his death? The Zhongshuan sect master said coldly. Knowing that the other party is a sect master, yet still underestimating the opponent. He deserved to be killed. The disciples did not speak at this time. The middle-aged man who was killed just now did not expect that the young sect master would be so powerful. Properly entertain Floating Cloud sect's esteemed guest. The Zhongshuan sect master said again. As long as we defeat Zhongshuan's chief disciple, our Floating Cloud sect will be able to take back the Floating Cloud Heavenly Mountain, right? Qin Yun asked in a loud voice. Yes. So long as you win, we will leave the floating cloud heavenly mountain. But this time, you have no chance of winning. Our Tsangshuan chief disciple is a 9th level Dao immortal. There are only 10 days left until the battle. At this time, an elder walked over with a mocking expression and said, Let's go, I will bring you to stay. No need to trouble you. Qin Yun took out the floating cloud pagoda and placed it at the edge. Old Cripple and Thin Cat followed him and went to the first floor to rest. Qin Yun arrived at the 20th floor, took out a few divine fruits that he plucked earlier and gave them to Imo can make the sacred infant fruit release energy and let the divine fruits ripen. First become a Dao immortal. Dao immortal realm, I should cultivate that small hammer, Qin Yun said. Heavenly Dao's ferocious power, Heavenly Lion, has already been cultivated to perfection. Nether Sun Totem has already appeared. Next is to cultivate Heavenly Dao Flame's ferocious power, that small hammer that looks exactly like 9 Sun Divine Hammer. The elder saw Qin Yun and the others enter the broken stone building and disdainfully snorted. No need, we will entertain you even better. All elders, come over. The Tsangshuan sect master's voice enveloped the entire mountain peak. Not long after, more than a dozen elders gathered in the luxurious hall of the tall building. Sect master, did you gather us because of that sect master floating clouds matter? An elder asked. No, the new floating cloud sect master is indeed very strong, but he is not enough to be feared. Just don't go provoke him. Tsangshuan sect master waved his hand. This is an old man with a long beard, he has kind eyes and brows. When he speaks, his voice is very calm, neither fast nor slow. A middle-aged elder furiously said. He killed 2 of our guards, then after coming up, he also killed a disciple. Don't tell me we just let it go like this? Tsangshuan sect master slowly said. Then what do you want? Go and kill him? He has the floating cloud token in his hand. Once the person with the token dies, the floating cloud heavenly mountain will also perish. This is just a lie from the floating cloud sect's trash. The middle-aged elder said again. Go ahead and give it a try. Tsangshuan sect master's expression became stern. The floating cloud heavenly mountain is hiding a very big secret, and the floating cloud token is the key to unraveling the secret. Don't act recklessly. The middle-aged man didn't dare to speak again. They have been guarding the floating cloud heavenly mountain for so long, but they still couldn't find the secret of the mountain. Tsangshuan sect master's expression eased a little and unhurriedly said, This time, I gathered you here to discuss the competition with the other 2 sects. The appearance of the evil Yang race has caused the great dragon desolate domain to become very unstable. We must unite the powerful sects of the great dragon desolate domain to fight against the evil Yang race and exterminate them. Chapter 1506. Northern Wind Flood Dragon. The 3 sects were very curious about what the Xie race was looking for in the Flood Dragon desolate region. The Xie race spent a lot of effort to come to the Flood Dragon desolate region and even used the power of Xie. Sect Master, is the thing the Xie race is looking for really in this floating cloud sky mountain? A middle-aged man asked. It's now called Tsangshuan Sky Mountain. Do you really think that floating cloud sect trash can take back this mountain? An elder smiled and said, Remember, this is Tsangshuan Sky Mountain. The new sect master of floating cloud sect is quite powerful. If we want to know the secret of this mountain, we must make him voluntarily use the floating cloud token and take us into the secret room. The sect master sighed. The previous floating cloud sect master refused to take us in. I hope this young man can cooperate with us. How is that possible? He killed 3 of our disciples the moment he came. Will this guy cooperate with us? Sect master, we can't go on like this. Why don't we use some tricks? That's right, why talk about righteousness with them? Floating cloud sect trash is not worthy of us talking about morality with them. The Tsangshuan sect master shook his head. You don't know how powerful the founder of Floating Cloud sect is. He is a very mysterious and powerful existence. His floating cloud sky mountain and floating cloud token are very magical things. We must not mess around. The past floating cloud sect masters were able to live well because of the floating cloud token. Otherwise, they would have died long ago. How could they live so well? The other elders had always wanted to take action against floating cloud sect, but the Tsangshuan sect master had misgivings and did not agree. Don't think about floating cloud sect master anymore. The new floating cloud sect master is in floating cloud sky mountain. If we kill the sect master with the floating cloud token, we may be punished by Sky Mountain. The Tsangshuan sect master sternly warned. The other elders could only nod. Sect master, how will the three sects compete next? North Wind Valley's strength is on par with us, and Hong Longshan's strength is unfathomable, an elder said with a solemn expression. The Tsangshuan sect, North Wind Valley, and Hong Longshan are the three great sects of the Flood Dragon Desolate region. They are evenly matched, especially Hong Longshan. He has some relationship with Floating Cloud Heavenly Mountain. He once received help from Ancestor Floating Cloud. Sect Master Tsangshuan stepped down from his seat and sighed. But no matter what, there must be a competition this time. Otherwise, none of our three sects will be willing to submit to the other. A middle-aged man nodded. If we don't work together, the evil Yang race will be able to do whatever they want here. The evil Yang race saw that we were in a state of disunity, so they became very arrogant. Sect Master Tsangxian said, "Send people out to pay attention to the Xie Yang race's movements. I'm worried that they will come here to cause trouble. Sect Leader Bei Feng and Sect Leader Hong Long should be here soon, right? We have to go out and welcome them. We must have a good attitude. Don't mess things up." Qin Yun calmly cultivated in the floating cloud pagoda. What made him pleasantly surprised is that the divine fruits on the divine mountain are actually very delicious. That little girl Yueme will definitely be happy to death. Qin Yun ate the divine fruit and smiled. However, he was puzzled. Why are these divine fruits so delicious? Is it because of the mountain god? Ling Yuner said with smile. It should be. Because the mountain god is transformed from a human, the divine fruits he grows are very suitable for human taste. Qin Yun ate a few divine fruits in one go. He discovered that only the first 3 divine fruits are effective, the last 2 are useless. Although only 3 divine fruits are effective, it is enough for me to step into the first level of Tao Immortal Realm. Qin Yun began circulating his cultivation technique. Xiao Yun, your mental power has increased very quickly, but you have been unable to open the 5th pearl of the 9 Sun Divine Spirit. Ling Yuner said, I wonder what's inside the 5th pearl. A little black donkey ran out of the 4th pearl, and let me obtain the Xian Wu totem. The harvest can only be considered ordinary. Qin Yun said with smile. The defense of the Xian Wu totem is very good. It is best used to refine defensive equipment. So you are saying that you are not optimistic about the things inside the 5th pearl? Ling Yun said. It would be even better if there is something good. If there isn't, then just treat it as a storage space. Qin Yun is no longer looking forward to the things inside the 9 Sun Divine Spirit as much as before. I feel that the 5th pearl definitely has something good. Ling Yun said with certainty. Let's talk about it after I open it. After Qin Yun cultivated the one-thought Imperial Heaven Art, the Nether Moon's power increased very quickly. It means that his mental power has become stronger and stronger. One day later, Qin Yun checked the Nether Sun's situation. Now he saw that the Heavenly Tao Flame's violent power has transformed into a hammer and the Nether Sun totem is gradually appearing. Tao Immortals and Golden Immortals cultivate the violent power of heavenly Tao flame. The Nether Sun Totem on the hammer and the little heavenly lion are different. Qin Yun is somewhat amazed. Could it be that there are many kinds of Nether Sun Totem? It should be. Heavenly Lion Totem, Dragon Totem, Sun Totem, there are many kinds of them. Of course, the most powerful one is the fusion of all 9 totems, that is the strongest. Ling Yun said. Fusion of totems is not difficult, I just need to completely master the mysterious fusion Heavenly Rune. Qin Yun is now a Tao Immortal, but his mastery over Heavenly Rune has not made much progress. Qin Yun has finally become a Tao Immortal. He secretly sighed in admiration. It is truly good to be in the great era. The sun has descended with so many resources, I can advance by leaps and bounds, otherwise I would not have been able to break through so quickly. Not only him, most of the people and beasts in Immortal Desolate are the same. Before the world extermination, they relied on countless sun divine stones to become very strong in a short period of time. A burst of clamorous noise came from outside. Qin Yun arrived at the first floor and saw Old Cripple and Thin Cat. They are leaning on the window and looking outside. What's going on outside? Qin Yun asked. North Wind Valley and Hong Long Mountains people have arrived. Songshuan sect master, elders and disciples are solemnly welcoming them. Old Cripple sighed and said, and before, they made things difficult for us in every possible way. This is the disparity. These bastards. Thin Cat is also very angry. Qin Yun also saw Songshuan sect master, moreover, he is now walking over. Floating Cloud sect master, are you coming out to welcome Hong Long Mountain and North Wind's friends? Songshuan sect master politely asked. I am seizing the time to cultivate, I won't go out. Besides, Floating Cloud Heavenly Mountain has already changed its name to Songshuan Heavenly Mountain. You are the masters. Welcoming guests has nothing to do with me. Qin Yun said. He doesn't want to go out, otherwise, he might cause a lot of trouble. An elder lightly groaned and said, I gave him face but he refused it. That's right, he is seizing the time to cultivate, only 10 days, how strong can he be? This guy must be afraid of losing face. North Wind Valley and Hong Long Mountains people will surely laugh at him to death. The young dean of the Floating Cloud sect has brought an old cripple and a skinny cat. They are here to make fun of us. Seeing that Qin Yun is not coming out, people outside coldly ridiculed him. Songshuan sect master said, Floating Cloud sect master, Hong Long Mountain and Floating Cloud Mountain have a good relationship, you don't seem to know, right? Qin Yun looked at Old Cripple and Thin Cat, they nodded. Old Cripple said, Hong Long Mountain is very polite to us, sect master, how about we go out? Alright. Qin Yun lightly sighed, then opened the door of Floating Cloud Pagoda and walked out. After he went out, he released his Tao Immortal aura. It released a very fierce and powerful aura. The Tao Immortal disciples in the plaza sensed this aura and their expression suddenly changed. After everyone recovered from their shock, they burst into an uproar. Yesterday he was a 9th layer Earth Immortal, today he is a Tao Immortal, moreover his aura is so dreadful. Those people who were ridiculing Qin Yun earlier now have a very bad taste in their mouths because Qin Yun is about to break through and become a Tao Immortal. Great Elder, how good is the relationship between Hong Long Mountain and Floating Cloud sect? Qin Yun suddenly asked. They have helped us many times, Old Cripple said. Then our Floating Cloud sect is indebted to them, I will repay them. Qin Yun nodded his head. Songshuan sect elders' faces are filled with disdain, someone said in low voice. Repay? With what? Hong Long Mountain is the richest sect in Flood Dragon Desolate Domain. At this time, 2 powerful golden immortal aura arrived. One of them has a very strong dragon power aura and the other one is ice cold. Hong Long sect master and Bei Feng sect master have arrived. Everyone looked towards the vines at the edge of the mountain peak. The first to come up along the vines are two old men. Hong Long's sect leader was a tall and sturdy old man. He wore a red dragon cloak and a pair of red trousers. His upper body was bare, revealing his powerful muscles, and he gave off a very ferocious feeling. The other Bei Feng sect master is wearing a white robe. He is tall and thin, his face is full of wrinkles, his pair of half-opened eyes are filled with ice-cold air. Then, many Hong Long Mountain and North Wind Valley disciples came up along the vines, a total of 200 to 300 people. In comparison, the disciples of the Great Dragon Mountain all gave off a very valiant and powerful feeling, very bold and unrestrained. And North Wind Valley disciples are ice-cold, their faces are filled with cold arrogance. Songshuan sect master quickly went up and exchanged greetings with the two sect masters, then told them that Floating Cloud sect has changed sect masters. Hong Long sect master and Bei Feng sect master immediately looked at Qin Yun. Bei Feng sect master coldly snorted. I guess that old Gua doesn't dare to come, so he tricked a little demon to take over the position of sect master. Hong Long sect master looked at old Cripple and said with a smile, Great Elder, you changed sect master is such an important matter, why didn't you inform me, really? It happened suddenly. Old Cripple said with a smile. I am the new sect master of Floating Cloud sect, my name is Qin Yun. Qin Yun walked over and politely smiled at Hong Long sect master. I am Hong Quangang, the new sect master, we will be together for a long time in the future. This is the first time Floating Cloud sect has such a young sect master, he seems very powerful. Hong Quangang said with a smile. TSK, what's the difference between this guy and those old trash? Bei Feng sect master said with disdain. An elder of Songshuan sect sneered. Sect Master Hong Long, this new sect master heard that Hong Long Mountain has done great kindness to Floating Cloud sect and said that he will repay you. Ha ha, Sect Master Hong Long, why don't you take out something to repay him? An old man mocked. Sect Master Hong Long, you should be a saber user, right? Qin Yun said with smile, then took out a saber flickering with blue light and threw it over. Hong Quangang said, No need to thank me, this is what I, Hong Long Mountain, should do. He received the saber and wanted to return it, but suddenly he said in shock, This is King Grade Immortal Saber? You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.